today. Stacey London, who is a co-host of What Not to Wear.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That show was very popular for a while.
52 today. Oh, here's a big one. Frank Oz.
Oh.
Of course, in The Muppet Show. And he was one of the, his original Sesame Street characters. He's Grover, for crying out loud.
And a great director. He's gone on to direct a lot of stuff. He also has a cameo in The Blues Brothers.
That is correct. At the very beginning, he's checking him out of the prison. But he does all kinds of great stuff. In fact, Trading Places. He plays he's played that type of character from the Blues Brothers. Like 3 times.
Usually
where he's doing the inventory of what you have, and he did that in Trading Places.
The
as
guy
well.
across the desk.
Yeah.
Also in. Spies Like Us. Yeah, he's the guy behind the desk at Spies Like Us as well.
You're right.
Yeah. And he and Charles Grodin had a great scene together and the Muppets. And you really believe that these 2 older grown men are in love with each other because Charles Grodin is Charles Grodin and Frank Oz is Miss Piggy.
Right.
And Charles Grodin falls in love with Miss Piggy. It's adorable.
Yeah. Frank Oz is 77 today. Dimitri Martin, who is from The Daily Show.
Yeah, he was in. Remember that movie that was a sort of a loving retrospective of Woodstock?
Okay. Taking Woodstock.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. He's 48 today. And then the final birthday I saw is the great Octavia Spencer.
She's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have a crush on her. I think she's just the cutest thing.
Did you watch? What was that movie? Is it Mom or
Ma?
Ma? Yeah.
I didn't see it. I heard it was bad.
She plays a
really?
lunatic who keeps she keeps inviting the kids in the neighborhood to basement parties.
Oh, wait, and it's called Ma, M-A?
Yeah, and so she's a lunatic. It's pretty cool. You might like it.
That's what we call my mom. Like, that's my mom. But everyone, not just us, like cousins, Jace, everyone calls my mother Ma.
That's like my mom and her family is known as a sister.
Yeah.
Really?
Even her mother called her sister.
Yeah. You know my dad is brother, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you call him Bob, Rob, Robert, he's like, that person doesn't know me that well. Everyone calls him brother.
No way.
Is brother his name or just brother?
Brother is his name. So, like, my cousins call him Uncle Brother.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That was like my mom was sister. That was her name in the family.
Interesting.
That's
Even
funny.
her own father, her own mother and father called her sister. And they got that from her siblings calling her that.
Yep, that's how my dad did. His mother would always say to his older sister, "Go watch your brother."
So was Janis Joplin screaming brother?
Yes,
brother.
because she knew him
brother.
well.
But your mom is Ma.
My mom is Ma, and my dad is brother.
Octavia Spencer is 51 today. All right, we'll see if we can get the answer to this question before. Jaguar made cars, the company that started them. What did they make? 215-263 WMMR, and we will go to Derek for the answer. Hey, Derek, good morning.
Good morning, guys. What's the deal?
The deal is you get a chance to give us an answer here. What did Jaguar make before they made cars?
They made motorcycle sidecars.
Correct. Hang on a second, Derek. I'm going to give you an exclusive Guardians of the Galaxy Culture Fly Collector box with vinyl record featuring musical items from the movie and more from your favorite characters from Star-Lord and Groot. And you can check out collectionobsession.com for more. They were originally called the Swallow Sidecar Company.
Interesting. I remember Jonathan Pryce used to do sort of pompous commercials. It was the Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Right.
Yeah. And then they made a car, and then initially it was a model that was called the Jaguar. And then they changed the name of the company to Jaguar. All right, so the BBC is investigating its editorial culture and practices following a damaging inquiry into the circumstances behind the 1995 interview with Princess Diana. In a statement, the board said that the report was profoundly sobering. It found that former reporter Martin Bashir tricked the late Diana into the interview via fake bank statements, and the BBC subsequently never investigated his wrongdoing over that.
Son of a bitch.
Sir Nick Serota, Ian Hargraves, and Sir Rabbit Gibb, who oversees the BBC Editorial Guidelines and Standards Committee,
You guys, this is a travesty.
will launch a new probe set
This
to...
august foundation will be so impugned with all of these allegations. It's absolutely revolting.
It's set to conclude and share its
What is it?
findings in September. What was it?
I said this august foundation and some of the gobbledygook.
Oh.
No.
All right, I misheard.
But you need to take away from that, Nick Accolade is my aisle, of the current situation regarding the BBC.
The board said in the statement, we have confidence that the processes and
If you take away anything from my discharge, verbally speaking, and not in a sexual manner, I'm displeased with what is happening with current status of the BBC.
they said we have the confidence that the processes and guidelines and
Essential boot to bonnet, spotted dick,
BBC
tally worker.
are much stronger than they were in 1995, but we know we must also do what we can to prevent such an incident happening again.
We must pretend as if we're doing something immediately.
As such, we think it's right that we review the effectiveness of the BBC's editorial policies and governance in detail.
It's time to look inward and pretend that we're doing things.
Lord Dyson said...
I'm a vacuum cleaner. Just ask anyone in the men's room. I have 1,000 times the sucking power.
In doing this, the board will hold the executive to account to ensure there are strong day-to-day editorial processes and clear route by which to handle any specific issues arising from Lord Dyson's report.
Lord Microwave and Lord Toaster Oven.
The board will look at the culture of the BBC as part of its remit to assess the effectiveness of policies and practice. So they say they're taking a deeper look into it. And, someone will be held accountable, probably.
Heads will roll.
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were spotted together in Miami, where Jen had been working, and the pair were seen leaving a private home. The previously
Was
engaged,
it their home, or did they break into someone else's?
I don't know. The previously engaged couple have been spotted several times in recent weeks, including during a romantic getaway in Montana. While they are taking it slowly, an insider tells Page Six that the 48-year-old has actually been angling to get back with Ben for years.
Tell me, do you eat?
The insider shared she was always obsessed with Ben. They have always loved each other. Fans noticed that he appeared to be wearing the watch that Jen had gifted him way back in 2002.
I'm down with this whole idea. It puts out the notion that you can make good on mistakes of relationships past.
Also, come on, because he was wearing the watch, you think he wanted to get back together? It's
That's gotta
probably
be
a very expensive watch. Why would he not wear it?
Well, I mean, he could get any watch he wants, so.
I understand, but because he has a watch on does not mean that he was dying to get back together
Well,
with
you
her.
can see, Kathy, they're both wearing the I'm with stupid t-shirts.
I don't know, man. Maybe they do have these little signals, right? Like,
Right. Stars, they're much different than we are.
Yeah.
I thought they were just like
They're
us.
just
Oh,
like
yeah,
us,
that's right.
actually.
Yeah.
But they wear watches.
I like watches.
Kourtney Kardashian's fashion choices changed for no man. The Poosh founder shared a shot of herself on Instagram. One fan seemed to say represented a shift inspired by boyfriend Travis Barker. They wrote, and her style begins to change. Kourtney clapped back and said, this picture is from 2019, but okay.
Stupid.
And she put a kissy face emoji on it, too.
Kissy face.
Kissy face.
Push from vagina.
She rocked a brown fur collared coat paired with ripped denim, black boots, and yellow and black bustier tank with yellow sunglasses to match in the picture, and captioned it, "Feeling left out. Send me over a drink." With @drink818 on the rocks with lime. That's her booze, right?
Yeah, she needs to shut up.
That's the tequila that they don't know what the ingredients are for.
Yeah,
By
it's
the way,
Kendall Jenner's, yeah.
Oh, this is Kendall's, okay.
This fashion choice is two posts immediately after see-through lingerie fashion choice. So take it with a grain of salt.
So this is Kourtney, and Kendall has the
tequila.
Right.
She's promoting Kendall's tequila on her Instagram.
Okay. As you watch the stuff that she's doing, that Kourtney's doing, Preston, you realize maybe she deserves Scott Disick.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
No. What?
No, whenever we talk about them, I thought we were talking about Chloe. We
know.
were talking about
We were talking about Kourtney, but we mentioned Kendall, and now we're going to talk about Kylie.
Yeah. Okay.
Travis Scott and Kylie are back together. But in an open relationship.
Yes, which means absolutely nothing.
Sources say
It was
that
always open as far as he was concerned.
the two broke up in 2019 with Scott enjoying the single life, but still wanting Jenner and the family life back too. It seemed that they were Walking the line between single and family life, the pair were recently spotted in Disneyland with their daughter Stormy.
Yo, baby girl, I want you and only you and a lot of other women as well.
After going,
Wait, what's that?
You heard that?
after going on dates together and celebrating Scott's birthday together in Miami. But she had dismissed a couple of reports on Twitter sharing, you guys really just make up anything.
I want you and only you and a lot of other women as well. Huh?
You had me at, wait, what'd you?
I've done some bad thinking, baby girl. It's all you and a lot of other women, too.
Yeah, so they may be back.
Many other women, too, but you. Like, if there's a line, visualize a line, you're right at the front of the line, and there's a lot of other women behind you. But there, you and then many women behind you. But I think of you, and rarely ever think of the many women that are behind you in that line of women that I'm going to have sex with.
You just got to hit you really hard.
You. Watch me, watch my hand. You and a lot of the women, too.
Emily Blunt may be one of the world's biggest stars, but her kids have no idea about that, and she wants to keep it that way. In a recent interview, she said that Violet, who is 4, and Hazel, who is 7, whom she shares with John Krasinski, of course, are oblivious to their fame. She said it's a strange thing to navigate, you know. She came home the other day, and we were in the kitchen, and she goes, "Are you famous?" And I'd never heard her. We had never heard her use that word in our house before. We don't talk about it. She said someone at school had clearly said it, and I was like, not really. I don't think I am. Did someone say that to you, Hayes? And she said, yeah. But then she wouldn't divulge much more, you know, but it's weird. Blunt explained that she doesn't want her daughters to feel any more important or special or that there's a glare on them any more than other kids.
So A Quiet Place is opening tomorrow for the Memorial Day weekend?
Is it tomorrow?
I think so.
Awesome. So she said that if they can remain oblivious for the longest time, I'd be thrilled. They don't even want to see what I do. They don't even like it when I put on makeup. They don't like any of it. They just want me to be their mommy.
So what is not to go off on A Quiet Place 2, but apparently there's there's the current timeline, Preston, which picks up right after A Quiet Place 1. And then there is a whole bunch of flashbacks that establish
how it all started.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really interested in seeing. Hey, Bam Margera says his Jackass family betrayed, abandoned, and rejected him. So now he's on his own in Florida where he says he's getting the help that he needs. He ripped into his co-stars in a lengty rant on Sunday night, specifically going after Johnny Knoxville and director Jeff Tremaine, claiming that they've treated him horribly. He was axed from the upcoming Jackass 4. He says that Johnny and Jeff strung me along like a puppet before a messy exit. But Steve-O is trying to get through to Bam.
Yeah.
He says that Johnny and Jeff bent over backward to get Bam in the movie. All Bam needed to do was not get loaded, but he couldn't stay sober. And it's a meaningful post. I read it. And he's, this is a guy who's in the depths
there
and been there. And while he wants to help his friend, he also doesn't want to enable him, and he's got, at some point you have to say, look, dude, we can't. And it's a liability for the movie, for the company.
Yeah.
They hire you. They can't trust what, you will do at this point, and it can mess everything up and become a financial burden big time.
Well, one thing is true. They love Bam, and Bam, I'm sure, still cares about them, but can't see this.
He doesn't see it yet.
And Steve-O makes the point. He says, by the way, Bam with these guys launched the effort to get Steve-O clean, if you remember that. So reciprocally, he's having difficulty processing. And it comes down to cases. There's, that and that thing he wrote and that statement that Steve-O released, you can't get loaded. You can't. And he did, apparently.
He also suffers from that thing from another person that we care about, John Belaris, where he needs to not talk sometimes, and he shouldn't.
Who, Bam?
Bam does, yeah. There are moments where he really shouldn't voice these types of things and just stay mum.
He's a great guy, and he's been a friend of the show, Bam, for years, and we just love to see him settle all this and get back with these guys and do what they do, which is, great stuff.
Mm-hmm. He says he's getting help from a woman in Florida who has worked with celebs like AC/DC's Brian Johnson and Steven Tyler, and it sounds like he thinks that it's working. So,
all right,
we'll see if that goes anywhere. Emma Stone has revealed her daughter's name. She and Dave McCary welcomed Louise Jean McCary on March 13th. TMZ reported that the name is in honor of Emma's grandmother, Jean Louise. And Emma's middle name is Jean as well. So that is the name of the baby.
Are you interested in Emma Stone's Cruella de Vil movie?
Not all that much.
Yeah.
You know, and I love her.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do a whole lot for me.
Man, they're throwing a lot of promotion behind it.
I'll probably end up seeing it, but it's not one that I'm going, wow, can't wait to check it
Now,
out.
Maleficent, that's one.
That looks pretty good. That's those movies are great.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan has been absent from the acting scene for years, but she is set to return.
I'm coming back
in an untitled Netflix rom-com.
Yeah.
Variety reports said
Is it a holiday movie?
she will play a newly engaged, spoiled hotel heiress. According to the logline, who gets amnesia after a skiing accident and finds herself in the care of a handsome, blue-collar lodge owner.
Oh, Jesus, this sounds like Overboard.
It's exactly that. Exactly.
Yep, and a precarious daughter in the days leading up to Christmas.
Preston, I was about 10 pages into the script, and the part where I wake up with a mouthful of chicken nuggets, I said, I'm on board. I love it.
I hope for the best.
I hope we can use a lot of filters.
Yeah, I know. I would like to see her get things back
to stuff, yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see. Proof's in the pudding. You want
Exactly.
You want some pudding?
I do like pudding. I dip my nuggets in it. Chicken fingers. Whatever.
You dip chicken fingers in pudding?
Pudding is great.
Okay.
You want to be my new boyfriend?
Yeah.
I just made you some pudding. I love you, man.
When Brooke Shields fell down during a workout session, she tells Good Morning America she thought she might be paralyzed.
I saw this story like a couple of weeks ago, Preston, and I had so it was not that you would not imagine the kind of injury occurring that occurred, but she had to like relearn to walk.
Yeah, the 55-year-old said after recovering from the fall and emergency surgery to her femur, she developed a staph infection and needed another emergency surgery.
Everyone who works for her got an infection.
No, not that. It's STAPH.
Oh.
She said, if I can turn it into anything positive or I can teach my girls, stuff is going to happen in your life and how you respond is going to define you and adversity will reveal you, she had said. It won't make you as much... it won't make you as much as it will reveal you because you see who you are.
Exactly.
You see what you're made up of.
So it says you just got to let the nuggets fall where they may.
There you go. That's right.
So we're watching this footage of her, and she was learning how to walk up steps again and things of that nature. It was a bad break.
Yeah. So she's doing better now. Timothy Chalamet will play Wonka. In a musical based on the early life of Willy Wonka.
It's the movie you've been waiting for, Super Hot Wonka.
So it'll be this kind of his
Wonka.
It'll be kind of his origin story.
Isn't it kind of weird? Like I guess Johnny Depp played him, was a good-looking guy as well.
I know, but they kind of weirded him up at least.
Yeah,
you know.
Gene Wilder to me is the way I want my Wonkas.
Yeah.
Though plot details have been kept under wraps, the Warner Brothers prequel film will explore the upbringing of the man who later created the famous House of Confectionery Treats. Reps for Chalamet confirmed that he will be singing and dancing in the movie, so it will be a musical.
Why don't you take a hold of my licorice and tug?
So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory follows, of course, the poor boy named Charlie Bucket. And since the upcoming movie takes place before the Chocolate Factory opened, Charlie and company won't be making an appearance in Wonka.
Here, try this gobstopper.
So that will be, let's see, they're going to have Paul King, who's known for Paddington and its sequel, directing.
Those are good movies.
David Heyman, a driving force behind the Harry Potter franchise and the beloved Paddington movies, will produce the film. Production is expected to begin in September, with the movie scheduled to debut theatrically March 17, 2023.
So for me, the Wonka stuff only works if there is a bit of malice in it, if there's a darker side, and I hope they have that in this one.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Chalamet has several movies coming out this year, including Denis Villeneuve's Dune adaptation.
When's that release date?
I don't know. They've moved it left and right. I I read the novel again.
Yes, as have I.
Getting ready. You read it recently?
No, I read it.
Yeah, so I reread it again to go right into the movie release.
And nothing.
And then they pushed it back. I'm like, oh, that was great. I wanted it to be fresh in my mind, you know?
They're saying October 1st. So, I mean, it has been moved back several times, so hopefully that'll hold.
So also the Wes Anderson comedic drama The French Dispatch and Adam McKay's star-studded disaster movie Don't Look Up. He also gets to portray Bob Dylan in the Searchlight biopic Going Electric, so he is quite busy. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will return to New York's Ed Sullivan Theater with full capacity, vaccinated audiences on June 14th. Colbert had been hosting remotely for more than a year due to COVID-19 safety concerns. Even his late-night rivals Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon returned to their studios with limited crowds. Last March, Colbert was the first broadcast late-night host to return to the air, delivering a monologue from his bathtub. The show has produced 205 episodes, 16 of them live, both from Colbert's home in South Carolina and from the Ed Sullivan Theater's offices. He said in a statement, over the last 437 days, my staff and crew and family have amazed me with their professionalism and creativity as we made shows for an audience that we couldn't see or hear. And he said, I look forward to once again doing shows for an audience I can smell and touch. The network said that it was adhering to state and federal guidelines, and its plan has been reviewed by the state. Anyone attending the show will have to show proof of a vaccination before entering. Face masks will be optional. Staff and crew members will continue to be tested on a regular basis and undergo daily screening for symptoms. And a COVID-19 compliance officer will be on staff to monitor and enforce all health and safety protocols. So June 14th is when that returns. Marvel Studios released first trailer for The Eternals, which will hit theaters November 5th.
I watched it. It's as with any of these, Preston, you get, oh boy, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery to me. I don't know much about The Eternals.
That's part of the thrill, because I love that there are aspects. Like I focused on some, like as did you. You had your storylines that you followed, your characters that you liked, but you weren't absorbing the entire Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this stuff is just brand new to me.
I mean, with the exception of like the Hulk and Spider-Man, I didn't really know anything about any of these. Well, Thor as well, but I mean, there were so many characters in the Marvel universe, cinematic universe, that I was like, I didn't know who Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
you know. So
they reference the Avengers at the end of this trailer, which is cool.
Yep, and they're an impossibly good-looking cast.
Yes, they are
too. So you have Angelina Jolie. You have Richard Madden, who is from Game of Thrones.
Right.
You have Kit Harington from Game of Thrones. So the Stark brothers are back together, or Stark and Snow, I guess I should say. Lauren Ridloff, Gemma Chan, who is stunningly beautiful. Don Lee and Salma Hayek. So they are all in this movie together. So I have high hopes for this.
Is Kumail Nanjiani?
Yeah, he is, and he got jacked for this movie.
All right, so let's get to the clips now, if you don't mind. Following the deadly events at home, the Abbott family now faces the terrors of the outside world as they continue their fight for survival in silence in A Quiet Place Part 2. Here, star Emily Blunt explains her husband John Krasinski's role in making this film.
John lost his mind on this film, so I think because the film is bigger and more ambitious and the world expands, I think it was much more beneficial for us to have him behind the camera, just because of what he had to orchestrate and conduct, and his attention to detail could just really fly.
Where's that sound coming from? Quiet Place 2 will be released in theaters this Friday, it says here, Steve, so maybe it's Friday. Next clip. In Friends Reunion, the 6 BFFs reunite for a trip down memory lane. In this clip, Lisa Kudrow teases the structure of the special release. Here it is.
I think the experience was even bigger than I or most of us could wrap our heads around. But it's more than just us talking. It's a lot of things going on and cutting back and forth between. And there's things that I never saw before.
Good housekeeping.
Friends Reunion will stream on HBO Max this Thursday, by the way.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. All right, and there you go. Your entertainment report for this Tuesday, May 25th, my friend. We grabbed another school for coolest teacher, Little Flower High School in Northeast Philadelphia. You guys get to vote, and tomorrow morning we'll find out who the coolest teacher was. Today we found out that photography teacher, Mrs. Diana Rossi, is the teacher that won from Brandywine High School. So we're going to give her a prize. Maybe we'll hear from her this morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment. We have Melissa Villasenor on the show a little bit later this morning because she's got a gig coming up at Punchline next week. So we'll do that and some other stuff. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
Preston and Steve.
Would be
Who
nice here, though,
cares?
Nick, for this weekend. It might be nice for people just to spend some time indoors together.
Right?
Yeah, right?
Just to
We
get to
haven't
know
had
one
a
another.
chance.
Get
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Binge watch something?
Yeah.
I got something you can watch. We have a new Daily Rush video. It's called E.T.'s new dating app. Says E.T. is turning on his heart light and getting back into dating. You can watch it now at PrestonandSteve.com. Sponsored by Punchline Philly, Fishtown's first comedy club, restaurant, and bar. And that's where Melissa Villaseñor will be performing. We will have her on the program a little bit later on. But right now, we got to talk to a cool teacher.
Up in the morning and out.
We had asked the students of Brandywine High School to text in, tell us who the coolest teacher of the year was. They did it. And do we have her music, Casey?
Yes, we do. Right
Oh, is that right here? It's Miss Rossi. Casey thought it was close to Diana Ross. Her name is Diana Rossi. And we welcome her to the show this morning. Hey, Diana.
Hi.
Hey, good morning. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, did you have any idea that this was going on, that the kids were voting for you?
I mean, I knew about the coolest teacher, but I didn't know.
But you didn't know. All right, so you are a photography teacher?
Yes.
Excellent. Let me ask a question. You guys, you don't still do the taking the photographs and putting it through the formula and the solution in the darkroom and all that stuff anymore, I would imagine?
Not here at Brandywine. I did years ago. I did used to teach it, yeah.
I did do that. It was
So
kind of
did I.
it was kind of cool.
It
doing
was
that.
cool, yeah. It was good to know. I guess that'd be the equivalent of analog.
Yes, they call it analog, yeah.
Right.
But obviously, it's way easier with digital and a lot more fun. You can get a little more creative with it too.
Less lethal chemicals involved.
Yeah, that as well. So, how has this year been for you, Diana?
It's been an interesting year, you know, with the pandemic. But it's been going okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Has it been remote learning, or how have you been dealing with what's been the situation there?
So we were remote learning until January. And then in January, we started hybrid, 2 days for one cohort and 2 days for another cohort. So the kids were in school 2 days and then off for 3 days. And then we came back to 4 days a week right before our spring break. So right before Easter, we came back. And it's been fine.
So with photography and stuff like that, obviously that's something that actually lends itself to going, online. You can work with that, right?
Yes, it actually worked. It wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
It was not so bad because the kids are able to get so creative being at home. It wasn't like walking around the high school and trying to figure out what to photograph. So it worked out.
Well, there you go. All right.
So, why do you think the gang, the students, voted for you? You an easy teacher, or do you have fun, or what do you think?
We like to have fun in my class. I don't know. We like to have fun. I talk to my kids all the time. We like to have really good conversations. We talk all the time.
That's important.
Yeah.
As a photography teacher, do you just start the class and see what develops?
Yeah. Sometimes, actually.
Let me ask you. What's the best what's your favorite camera? What brand of camera?
I'm a Nikon girl.
An Icon girl. Okay, I just got into
Nikons
Sony.
are top, man. Yeah, Nikons are the real deal. Excellent. Well, listen, Diana, for being such a great teacher, we have a really cool prize pack for you. We're going to give you the coolest teacher of the year coffee mug.
Awesome.
We're also going to give you tickets to the MM barbecue coming.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Excellent. Nice. And we'll give you a coolest teacher of the year t-shirt that you can wear. You will be in the coolest teachers section, surrounded by nothing but cool teachers. And we'll give you a $25 Acme gift card, fresh foods, local flavors. All right?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And take lots of pictures for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Diana Rossi. Yeah, there you go.
You know the principal's name there, Preston?
No.
Larry Gordy.
Larry Gordy, nice.
In college, we took a photography class, me and Just Like Arani sang.
Oh, yeah.
And the teacher told her, you'd have to go out all week and take pictures, and he submitted them on Friday. And he told her in front of the whole class, he goes, if you leave your porch, he goes, you might actually get some good pictures. She would turn left and take a picture of the campus, turn right, take a picture of Burger King. Forward was the street leading onto the campus.
There we go.
He's like, leave your porch and try it.
I enjoyed photography class.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Listen, I have some things that I need to dust off the shelves. We're headed back into the general store this morning.
It's time to head over to the general store where Proprietor Preston Elliott's waiting at the door to wave you on in. Don't shoplift anything, he'll break your kneecaps.
Well, listen, if you took this, I would, because the largest... All right, son, don't bother me right now. I'm in the middle of something. The largest purple pink flawless diamond ever sold fetched nearly $30 million during a weekend auction in Hong Kong.
$30 million.
Yeah, known as the Sakura. The fancy vivid diamond is 15.8 carats. It is the largest ever sold at auction, and it was sold to an unnamed Asian buyer for $29.3 million on Sunday.
I wonder in this industry how easy it is to deceive or to pass fake diamonds because you need to know exactly what you're looking for. I know there are a lot of trained eyes out there. Steven Singer's actually sat with my wife and I and showed us, what you're looking for. But I wonder now.
Yeah, but things come with a certificate. They're certifying that this
I know, but how
is real.
The level of if you can do it with art, and have trained eyes fooled, can you create something? What's the level of the science as far as counterfeit diamonds goes?
I would imagine if you're going to be spending, tens of millions of dollars,
you bring your uncle.
You bring your own expert with you to take a look and just to verify, and you pay that expert just to make sure that it is indeed flawless and all the things that you're looking for.
You had a summer job at a jewelry store. Come along with me. I'm checking out a $30 million diamond.
The previous record for largest purple pink diamond sold at auction was held by the 14.8 carat Spirit of the Rose.
Ooh.
And that was sold for more than $27 million in November.
I thought that was lost on the Titanic.
No, that was the Heart of the Ocean.
Oh, sorry.
Meanwhile, another notable pink diamond offered during Sunday's auction also attracted a sizable bounty, dubbed the Sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
The 4.2 carat fancy vivid pink diamond ring sold for $6.5 million. Kathy, where do you stand on these colored diamonds?
You know what? When the yellow diamond came and people were going crazy over it, I was never a fan of it.
What about now?
I
think it has a stained look to it.
What is the, not yellow diamond, but what is a yellow gem? I bought Rochelle one.
An amethyst?
Maybe it is. Yeah, I think it's an amethyst. I think they're cool looking.
Heart of the rectum.
But the difference between that and diamond,
right.
It's like, can you really, without taking a jeweler's glass and looking at it, to the average person, it's going to look pretty much the same thing,
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
You think like the gemstone will look the same as a colored diamond?
I'm saying for the average eye that's a yellow stone. Yeah, that one's yellow too. You know what I mean?
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
This man runs a general store. You going to argue with him?
No, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying I think that I could probably tell the difference between a gemstone and a diamond.
Are you a diamond sommelier?
No, sommelier. No, but I that's just my opinion.
Okay, all right. I just think, I don't know. I'd say
I think there is differences you could tell.
6 of one, half dozen or the other to me.
It's clarity, cut, duck, dodge.
Duck and dodge.
Yeah.
And if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a diamond. Mm-hmm. So anyway, this one went for $29.3 million. Wow. Okay. We're going to get out of the jewelry aisle, and we're going to move
down another aisle.
Let's go to the athletics department.
The athletics department.
Yeah, we got a lot in the general store. Although gymnast Simone Biles hasn't competed in more than 18 months, the 4-time gold medalist showed in a video Friday she's still just as talented as ever. During a podium training for the U.S. Classic, the 24-year-old was seen successfully landing what's known as a Yurchenko double pike.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that this was such a... I thought it was kind of a normal...
It doesn't look like much,
right.
But I've watched... we were watching a documentary or something about gymnasts not that long ago, and they were going over how people don't even try this because it's so dangerous.
Okay.
But to explain what it is, it's named after the 1980s Russian world champion Natalia Yurchenko. It consists of a round-off, then a back handspring before ending with a piked double backflip. So pike means straight, like
pike is like bent in half.
Bent in half.
Yeah,
okay.
with no bend in your knees.
With no bend in your knees. Okay, I gotcha.
Why is that so dangerous?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Well, you know what? There's another angle on this that I've seen, and it's not at this particular moment where she's doing it in another
this
venue.
isn't the video. This looks like she's younger here.
And Kathy, when you see it, and Preston, I don't know if you've seen the one that I'm talking about, but it's another venue, and she appears to go 18 feet in the air. Yeah. I mean, it's such a vault. It's so high. It's unbelievable.
So, according to her coach, Laurent Landy, said it's a very, very challenging, and what's scary is people can get hurt.
Yeah.
You do a short landing, you can hurt your ankles. It's a very dangerous vault.
That's what happened to Nell.
The historic.
She was completely lucid and clear, could speak perfectly before, and then ended up, out of it.
So the historic move, which Biles has teased on her social media for over a year now, has won her praise from other gymnastic champions. So they are hoping for big things from her.
This is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you could just run that again, watch. So this video. Okay, watch how high she goes up.
She does a round off first before even hitting the springboard, and then whoa,
boom!
Bang. Whoa,
it's
man.
amazing.
I guess it's the amount of speed that you're going that makes it so dangerous. That's wow.
I wonder how she's doing track. Look at how fast she's bolting down that mat.
Yep, dude. One of my all-time favorites as far as wipeouts go. It's an old video of a guy running full force toward the pommel horse.
Oh, God, I hate that.
He trips over the springboard, and his chest just hits the side of that
I
thing.
always wondered how he had to have broken ribs. Was that something that ended up in the beginning of Wide World of Sports?
I don't know. I don't think it was Wide World of Sports.
Like the agony of defeat.
Yeah, you know the famous wipeout, the skiing wipeout that they used to use for the agony of defeat?
That one was awesome.
I'm sorry, they're good.
It was great. So anyhow, she managed to land this, so it's a big deal.
These things happen so quickly, and the same thing happens in figure skating. I know that they're incredibly impressive, but to the untrained eye, I can't tell the difference. You know, the way that, Steve, your point is so lucid, where she's running so fast, and then she hits and then jumps like the way that she does. I can't tell. I can't tell if this is so much better than the other one that she's done.
You're
Kathy,
right.
Watch the monitor, Kathy. I want you when she's
boom.
I can't even watch it.
But that actually,
that poor guy. Oh.
That's called the Gregor Splat, Preston. It's a move that not a lot of people do. Yeah. It involves landing full force and smash chest on pommel horse.
By the way, I saw a commercial with Michaela Maroney yesterday. TV commercial. Did you see it?
No, I saw like a little infomercial, but
no, it's a TV commercial.
Okay.
These kids are throwing a frisbee around. It ends up on the roof of the house, and the voiceover says, "Well, what are you going to do? Just call Michaela Maroney over to jump on the roof?" And she comes over and she does like this double backflip and goes up on the roof and gets the frisbee for him. So it's pretty fun. We've got it on this monitor here. So good for her. She's getting some work. All right, let me see, Case, what else we can do here. We're going to talk about food and sex. Two things, putting them together. Food poisoning sucks, of course, and it turns out it can be passed on in a way you may not expect. University of Oklahoma researchers found that Campylobacter infection, the most common foodborne illness in the Western world, can be spread via sexual contact.
Okay, so let's say one has fallen prey to food poisoning, right? How soon after one has gotten food poisoning would they be able to transmit, or how much? Because I'll tell you what, for the next month, you don't even feel like standing up.
Infection is rarely serious, but can cause vomiting and diarrhea and can pose more risk for people with underlying health conditions.
You know, I'm sure you're like me. You usually get pushed away if you're vomiting and having diarrhea during sex.
Yeah. The expert says that the reason that it can be passed along to others during sex is likely because it can get infected when only small amounts of this particular bacteria are present. The study leader said, did you say I want to have sex? The study leader said this is an interesting time because COVID-19 has made people more aware of the importance of monitoring infectious diseases in general, not only during a pandemic. There are many infections like the one caused by Campylobacter that make people sick.
Campylobacter sounds like a vaudeville comedian.
I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's important that we spotlight the fact that these diseases exist, and we continue to conduct research on the effects of and modes of transmission. So it says sexual contact. I mean, does that mean
seminal fluid, like transmitted through actual exchange?
Well, I don't know if it means intercourse or if it means foreplay.
Yeah.
You know, because it just says sexual contact.
Like copping a feel?
Well, like using your mouth is what I was saying to more directly. So
first, we can't make out with chickens, and now we can't do this.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news here.
I'm sorry. I am not kissing a jellyfish.
As Lindsay said earlier this morning, let the nuggets fall where they may.
Suss them up the air, see where they fall.
That's all you got to do.
Life is a bowl of chickens.
Yep, and pudding right next to it. Yeah.
Bowl of chickens and pudding?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
That's what Gum Gum Lowhead used to say. Then she walks in front of a bus.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Poor Gum Gum.
All right, let's go shopping. Let's talk Harry Potter for a moment.
How are you a big Potter fan?
I like the movies.
Love the movies. And I'll tell you what really ratcheted it up a notch, and I'll say it forever, Universal. That Universal experience, that Harry Potter world, oh my God.
I took one run at trying to get into the books, and I read part of the first book, and it didn't speak to me. And I said it, and I did. It was a half-assed attempt. But maybe sometime down the road, I might dive into that.
Isn't The Half-Assed Prince one of the books?
I think it is, The Half-Assed Prince. So it's been 20 years since we saw Harry get sorted into Gryffindor, and Warner Media is commemorating the momentous pop culture occasion in honor of the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. 2 new unscripted Wizarding World specials are flying to HBO Max, Cartoon Network, and TBS later this year.
The cartoons?
During a 5-night event. No, these are live. These are unscripted, so they're not cartoons. And it will be produced by Warner Brothers, unscripted television. A Harry Potter fan quiz competition series and retrospective special will help find some of the new biggest self-proclaimed Potterheads. The new specials promise to deliver the whimsical spirit of the Wizarding World, challenging participants with hundreds of trivia questions and special guest surprises to discover who really knows J.K. Rowling's intricately detailed universe like the backs of their hand.
Potter was supposed to be, Preston, one of our self-proclaimed experts. We're going to have a competition.
We got to do that.
We should. Let's beat them to the chase.
I like
so people can say that they're ripping us off.
All right.
They had a science night at the Franklin Institute pre-pandemic, and it was a Harry Potter-based one, themed one. And as a part of, they did some really cool like potions and magic and things, that are based on the real world. And then they had a trivia contest at the end. And I like Harry Potter a lot.
Yeah.
I'm into the world, but man, these trivia questions were hard.
Okay.
And people were able, because it's such a rich universe to call from. There's so many books, there are so many movies, and there's so much detail. And part of her ability to write the amount of detail is part of the reason why it's so such an attractive universe.
Have you been to the Wizarding World in Universal?
No, I will.
It will blow you out of your socks.
Yeah, I missed doing the tour in London too, and I regret that. But I mean, there's just so much to go over in the Harry Potter world.
The limited quiz series. I love this idea of doing this, man. They should do this for other great movie franchises. They should have a game show.
Yeah.
If they can, if it's enough of a moneymaker, I would think you could do that. But I mean, there's several, like the Marvel universe, like the Star Wars universe. There's all these things.
That's what we're doing.
They could go after and do a game show. I don't know how many episodes you could get out of it, but I think that'd be a blast.
How many episodes did they get out of Bumper Stumpers? And that was just license plates.
Yeah.
Right. The limited quiz series was Stumpers.
I love that show.
You remember the sequel?
Lingo?
What's in your glove compartment?
No, I missed that.
Case, I saw a bumper yesterday.
Bumper Stumpers.
A license plate yesterday that was G-O Grapher. So it was a geographer, but I had to do Bumper Stumpers in my head.
Go Grapher!
Go Grapher! No, that doesn't make any sense. And then I saw one a couple of weeks ago that was Quidgibo. Do you know what Quidgibo is? What that reference is? It's Homer and Bart are playing Scrabble in a very early episode of The Simpsons. And Bart comes up with the word Quidgibo, which gets him like 180 points or whatever. But it was on a license plate. I was like, that's kind of a nerdy thing, but cool.
The limited quiz series will include 4 one-hour challenges, followed by the film retrospective. A play-along component will allow viewers to don their Hogwarts robes and swish and flick at home. Casting is underway in the U.S. for fans who demonstrate bravery similar to that of the Tri-Wizard champion and are looking to put their Harry Potter obsession to the test. You can visit wizardingworld.com to learn about the show and maybe be a contestant.
I'm wondering this year, as everything is loosening up and things are going back to 100%, and people are feeling more confident about post-pandemic existence.
Yeah.
I hope they do the wizard thing that they do at Chestnut Hill in October.
Well, they stopped that.
Well, they had
before
to,
the pandemic.
They had to rename it. No, they didn't stop it. They just couldn't have any official Harry Potter
But they
ties.
took it off of Germantown. Like they had to they scaled it down a lot.
Yeah, well, because I was there and it was pretty big.
You were there when
yeah.
it was still big.
Yeah.
And then the last year that they did it, or maybe even 2 years, I believe they took it off of. They still had the event, but
What
they
a dumb
didn't
effing
shut
thing.
down Germantown, and there wasn't like all those parking and driving restrictions and all of that. So
it was a massive hit. People were coming from all over to this thing. Why?
But what
why
happened?
do
Because
that?
the name, right? That's how it all started.
Warner Brothers decided, that you couldn't do it, so they changed it to Wizard Fest, and everyone showed up dressed as Harry Potter anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Back to the store.
What you got, proprietor? Get out of here, kid.
There was a study conducted by Zippia that calculated each state's of the United States, each state's grossness.
Okay.
Based on air quality, the number of landfills, and illness spread.
Grossness.
They also include the number of Google searches for certain gross items when determining the ranking. Zippia cites mayo recipes and crock wearing as search terms included in the gross category.
So those would be gross contributing factors.
Ew.
That is
All right.
correct.
I don't
This is
even
my
know where to
category.
begin here, where we'd find the mega grossness.
Yeah. What do you think? If you were to take a guess at just number one,
Florida.
think about air quality, landfills, illnesses.
When you
mayonnaise,
say landfills, Jersey, I'm thinking of. I don't know.
Yeah,
What
but
do you
I'm thinking New York City. Like,
Yeah, maybe the state of New York, because you had like Love Canal in upstate New York.
Right. Anybody else want to guess?
I already saw the list.
Okay.
West Virginia's pretty gross.
Nick is the closest. It's Virginia. Was ranked at number one. Then you have the Carolinas, both the South Carolina was second, North Carolina was third, and number 4, Pennsylvania.
Top five.
Number 5 was Texas, and number 6, New Jersey.
All right.
Now, did we get it because of the Crocs?
I don't know. They didn't break it down.
Oh.
7 was Connecticut, 8 was Georgia, then 9, Delaware. I mean, we're just in the grossest part of the country.
Yeah.
disgusting.
New York was number 10, by the way. So
Yeah, the Northeast, except for Texas.
it's pretty hard to categorize an entire state as gross.
Yeah,
Cities, yes.
Yes, no, I agree.
You
Because,
know?
listen, West Virginia actually has some massively lovely areas. Yeah.
The newest national park in the
Appalachian?
country is in West Virginia, New River Gorge. I'll tell you what's gross about North Carolina. When you are in eastern North Carolina and you are driving towards the beach towns, like the Outer Banks, you go through a lot of pig farms.
Yeah.
And the smell of pig farms might be, to me, the grossest smell on the planet.
And they're noisy, too. They are.
It's pretty gnarly. We have Hatfield meats out our way, so I'll see truckloads of them coming in every now and then. They smell horrible.
And I love me some bacon and ham and stuff. I get it. And I know why they have to be there, but it's gross.
You know what? And you also get, when you start to get down in the Carolinas and Georgia and Florida and all that, you get bugs, man. I mean,
Big bugs.
like nasty bugs in the summertime.
Around the croc farms.
And that can be pretty gross as well. So this is according to, whatever, this study they did. Take it for what it's worth, but they're calling Virginia to be the grossest. Hang on a second. I need to go to Joe. He wants to talk about his license plate. Hi, Joe. You're on the air.
Hey, first time, long time.
Oh, excellent. What's up? What's up, dude?
Nothing much. I just heard Nick mention that you saw my license plate, Quidjabo.
Yes.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah. And
it's very rare to get somebody that actually knows that reference. And it's just hilarious when somebody says it properly. And my brother, I had it since I was 16, and my brother always thought it was the dumbest thing ever. First for his license plate, nobody's going to get it. And I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah, I got it.
For some person.
I think you were driving north on Sumneytown Pike near the Blue Route.
Yep, yeah, I'm right in like Harleysville, Talmenton. I'm like 2 minutes away from the.
You're right by me.
Turnpike. Yep.
Yeah. Give your address. No. Okay.
And it's a large American ape with a short temper, right? That's how Bart defines it.
A big, dumb, balding North American ape with no chin.
Right.
That's great.
Oh, that's excellent.
Well, I really enjoyed it, Joe. So thanks, man. It's well done.
Thank you.
Quidgy very cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I always thought of actually just paying have them generate a random license for me and let me pay for it as a vanity plate, so I could say,
that's yours.
It's a vanity plate.
All right, let me see. I got some other items that are.
More inventory's coming. So much to look through. What else do we have, Proprietor Preston?
Well, this is on sale right now. It's called the Testacuzzi.
Oh my God.
Testacuzzi.
Testacuzzi.
I love it.
Stop. Is it that?
Jacuzzi for your nuts.
Oh,
No.
my God.
Just for your nuts?
Meant specifically for your set of balls to be placed into for a nice, relaxing spa session.
Oh my God.
So you have one for your feet.
The Testacuzzi comes in 2 different versions. One that's battery powered and will actually blow the bubbles onto you, but there's a version that's not powered, and what you do is you use a straw to blow the bubbles manually.
From a long straw, I
mouth.
assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got a straw up here, and it goes all the way down.
Testacuzzi.
And you just set it right there, and you start blowing.
Oh, my God.
I tried to see if this was a joke product or not, and I'm sure that it is, but it's legitimately for sale.
What if you want to have another set of testicles in the jacuzzi with you?
You can't. It's a one nut set.
One nut or one scrote?
One scrote. One, 2 nuts. One.
2 nuts,
anyway.
1 scrote.
Well, you can have 1 nut in 2 different jacuzzis.
Yeah.
All right, what if
That's the name of the band, Nick. Two nuts, 1 scrote. I got to write that down.
It's a acoustic set.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Case?
Nothing.
You know, are you buying? I saw you turn around. Are you going to buy this on Amazon?
No, I'm not. No, but what if you only have 1 nut and your buddy only has 1 nut? Then you guys could
pair up.
All right, yeah. It'd be tough to get them in,
obviously, just the actual physics, the actual the way your body is, that'd be tough. You'd have to be really up close with your buddy, and then be able to dip each uni nut down into the testacuzzi.
Testacuzzi. So to use it, you fill it up with warm water. Place your boys inside, turn it on, and then it'll start to blob the bubbles and relieve any pain that might have been introduced to them throughout the day. Now, the best part is there's a nice soft pillow for your member to lay on.
You said a knife. I'm like, what's the knife for?
No, I just mispronounced nice. The Balls hot tub comes in a few different color options, too, and finishes to choose from, including a jet black edition with a red member pillow, a white edition with a black member pillow, along with the ultra-rare 14-karat gold plate limited edition Testacuzzi for when you really want to treat your balls to pure luxury.
I tell you the one that I'm liking? I like the black look.
Yeah?
I think that's kind of nice with the red.
I'd go with the 14-karat gold.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, go all the way. And so you have to get it. You can't get it on Amazon.
No.
You have to go directly to the manufacturer's website to order it. It costs you $69.69.
Not bad. I usually do all my shopping through Poosh. So I'm wondering if this would be available through Poosh.
I would hope so. All right, we'll do one. We have time for one more item, I think. What do we want to get to here? Let's do something local. Marissa brought this into the store. And it's a story that was written about Justin Myers and friends. He's the guy that brought us the dumpster pool.
Yes.
And he's hoping for multiple swimming parties, setting them up wherever he can find the materials. And key to this is the 20 by 60 foot billboard that makes the base of the pool. So he's gone beyond dumpster pools. He's made it bigger now. He owns this billboard. Originally, it was obtained to create a slip and slide in the woods because those things are made of vinyl.
Yes, right.
The large plastic sheet turned out better than anticipated when he discovered that it was an Eagles-themed billboard. And what results from the effort is a pool large enough to hold a kayak in it. A kayak?
Kayak?
It's also relatively deep to the point where people can actually jump into it.
So he's providing the canvas basically for you to put in your dumpster.
Yeah, and what he drapes the canvas around is essentially what you see road workers use to block off lanes.
Yes.
They're like orange walls, essentially, made of real heavy-duty plastic.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you could rig up, and there's some sort of band that's holding the tarp in place to hold the water inside.
Yeah.
That could work. Though I tell you what, that dumpster pool that we had was top notch.
Well, it was top notch. Listen, we had a brand new pool liner that we spent a lot of money on. And the dumpster that we used from, I believe it was JP Mascaro, was a brand new dumpster that had never been used before.
Yes.
So, I mean, it was really top of the line.
And the water came in warm, yes?
Yeah, it was fairly warm.
That was a great time.
The cargo container pool is like a thing now.
It is, yeah.
For people's homes?
For people's homes.
Wow.
So you can either, have it dug into the ground or you can have it out of the ground, but like it's, a shipping container type of material. I don't even, like metal or whatever, yeah.
All right, so are they made for that purpose?
Yeah, yeah. So they have like filters and all that. It's not like standing water.
Case, actually, I've seen these as people will use them as like additions to their homes because they're cheap and
you
plentiful.
see it in Philly all the time now.
And so they can use it as storage, but they can also use it. You can outfit it and have, I guess, electrical run through there, or like you said, a filter. I mean, that's I guess it's a good use of space.
There's really no reason to not entertain this. I mean, if you're obviously you're going to have to do some modifications, but the structure is certainly sound enough to hold the water.
Yeah.
Huh. So are pool companies putting these together, putting them in?
They, I don't necessarily know if like Anthony Sylvan is doing this or Endless Pools or anything like that. But it is a new venture for other outfits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the rule after they're done, the rule is for all the barriers to be returned to the original location. Somebody brings giant trash bags, and swimmers can do some litter pickup. And Justin says they always like to leave the area looking nicer than when they found it. So he's making this a
good for him.
A little industry,
of
bringing a pool to your place, wherever that may be. So.
You guys, by the way, a lot of people will forget and dismiss this, but you guys set a number of world records that day.
We did.
That don't get enough accolades.
Well, we don't. I
don't ask for them.
We don't ask for them.
I mean, they really should be acknowledged.
You guys don't know this, but like at least once a year, we get together for like a reunion.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Champions.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah, there's a special red jacket that we wear.
Almost like
it's like the Masters that you can only wear at the event. So.
For dumpster pool records.
It was so much fun when we did that. You're right, Steve. The water was comfortable, and just to beat swimming in our parking lot was just weird. It was weird in a good way.
And we populated it too. We had some of our
some calendar girls, some interns.
Yep.
My son. I brought my son to work that day.
I don't remember that.
Dude, he was there.
Did he go swimming?
Yes, he had the most fun. He had the best time.
Oh, that was excellent. Nice.
We're watching you. Oh, great dive, Case.
Thank you.
Now you're down. You're down. You're so lean and mean.
Yeah.
I bet you could easily kill that record.
I'm. Possibly, yeah. I mean,
we need to revisit this.
Well, I don't know what we did with the pool.
I think
liner that we spent all that money on.
What we need to do is get that rig and then put a high dive on it, Preston.
Okay.
So
and a horse.
You need like big time insurance for high dives and stuff.
Absolutely, or cheap, not very reliable insurance.
That works.
Case, do you ever see the people that do the high dives into very shallow water?
Oh God,
it drives me crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
It's about displacement of your of your mass and how you won't hit the bottom. I mean, it's really, really dangerous, but the people who know how to do it, it's kind of a science.
Yeah, there are these guys that I follow on, not Twitter, on Instagram. They're like they're flippers, like Eric 3 Run is one, and a couple of other guys, and they jump off of the roofs of their houses.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
And
you don't want to do it, Kathy?
I don't even want to talk about it.
But it's insane. I mean, they're doing these like crazy like flips and twists and all that, and they're just going into a regular backyard pool, which drives me crazy. But they do it, and
doesn't it that would be like nails on a chalkboard for me. Like I can't. Take
so
it.
You think it robs the purity of the diving, or that
no, it's almost near death.
Listen, my roommate, my senior year of college, he broke his neck. He was in a halo for months.
Oh God!
He broke his neck diving into. He was trying to dive through an inner tube in a pool.
Oh.
Yeah, we've all done
Sure,
that.
yeah, right.
We've all done that, and he didn't do it right.
He just landed wrong, or
he hit his head on the inner tube, broke his neck. He didn't get paralyzed. Luckily,
hit it on the inner tube in the water, and that was enough to do it.
And
Wow.
so this was before I had ever known him. He did this when he was in high school. But yeah.
Oh, that is it's so scary.
I tried to dive through a wedding ring once, and that was dangerous.
So when I swam in competitive swimming, you would dive off of the starting blocks, and most of the time the starting blocks either started in the 5 foot or in the diving
Right,
where it was 12 foot. But Yaden Swim Club, their diving blocks were in like 3 foot water.
Whoa,
3 feet.
It's dangerous.
It's
very dangerous.
I could jump off the high dive.
You guys want a brother story?
Yeah, your
My
dad.
So my dad was actually an excellent diver when he was younger. He'll still get on the diving board now, Case, and he can still do a 1.5 off.
Your freaking dad is like got a million stories.
I know. So, but he used to go cliff diving, and he would dive off of like bridges, and yeah. He would, and like it was. Nick, it was like a whole process. He would go.
Your father was a cliff diver?
Yeah, he would go down into the water, with his fins and his goggles, and he'd check the bottom and how deep it was, and if there were rocks or anything like that. And then he would climb up the cliffs, and he dove off of bridges too.
Yeah, we did the same thing, Kath, but like I just had somebody jump first, and then I was like, okay, let's safe.
Yeah, if you don't see a blood pool.
Yeah, I was okay, they made it. I'm going to jump where they jump. We're
Have
good.
you ever seen real deal cliff divers? I have.
That's insane.
Well,
yeah, not in person.
I've seen in person.
Case, he didn't just do like the bridge between Avalon and Sea Isle. Like he was climbing up very high. I mean, it was dangerous.
Like in Mexico and Jamaica?
It was Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
All
And those guys, when they do it, they'll clear the rocks by 3 feet.
Yeah. Kath, do you think he'd be good on the show, or is he not much of a talker?
He is not much of a talker.
That's what I thought.
He would probably clam up and
because he's got a million stories, but if he can't impart them in a very good way, and then it might not be worth talking.
I'd like to hear about when he
gave him a drink and then
All right.
Look at him! Look at him! He'll be our drunk day.
But Kath, at my swim club growing up, there was an old guy. He was probably at least in his 60s, but he would come to the pool once or twice a week. Just go right to the diving boards, go off the high dive, do these 1.5s, and I was like, I want to be like that guy when I'm older. Like,
can you still do it?
I can still do it. Yeah,
you can do 1.5.
Oh, easily. Yeah, but the problem is now my equilibrium's all off. So like when I
makes you all dizzy and stuff.
So when I do a 1.5 and I get into the water, my brain is swimming, right? But if I do a gainer, I'm fine. But whenever I do like a 1.5, I would love to try and do a double again, but I probably need to lose a little weight first.
Okay. All right. Well, anyhow.
Do you have trouble making?
Never.
Making?
You need to make.
So interesting, but nonetheless, this dumpster pull stuff has taken it to another level, and he's still at it. All right, that's all the time we have. We got to close up shop.
Time to leave the store. Proprietor Preston needs to close up tonight.
Yep.
Go home to his wife, who hates his guts and wishes he would return to the general store. This is a fictitious wife, not Rochelle, who loves him dearly.
That's correct. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. I appreciate that. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second. Some bizarre file stories await you, my friend, on the other side. So hang in there. Graduating from Temple and then working in journalism for a few years, he decided to follow his dream and apply to law school now.
Yeah. So he's leaving journalism for law school.
He's a great journalist, but he wants to go to law school. He was accepted and graduated last Thursday from Temple Beasley School of Law.
Hey!
And she says, we're so proud of him. Thank you in advance, and thank you for continuing to make mornings fun. That is from Lori Craig. So a shout out to our good friend Dan Craig. Congratulations to you, man. Dan was a great intern. He's a super good guy. And I got this other one. This guy wanted me to call him when I was going to do the shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said I don't do that.
Oh, come on, we should call him.
But I'm gonna pass this along. This is from Michael Tucker, who said, this past Saturday, my son Benjamin Tucker earned his black sash in Kung Fu after a 3+ hour test that he took alone.
Nice.
By the end, he was physically and mentally exhausted. This is actually his second black belt he earned. He earned a black belt in Tang Soo Do about 6 years ago.
Cool.
Ben was raised on WMMR, has become a huge fan of his own, and I was hoping he could get a shout out for this accomplishment. Thanks, everyone. Stay awesome, Michael Tucker. So here you go. Congrats to you, sir. That's a huge accomplishment. And then one last one. Says, hey guys, I'm writing to request a big, juicy birthday shout out to my wife, Kelly Rose Pucillo, or it's Pucillo. Pucillo, I'm not really sure. CRNA, it says. She is a nurse anesthetist at St. Christopher's Hospitals. An avid listener, you guys, mostly the podcast on her way home from the hospital, since you guys start at the same time as she does. Or when she finds quiet time after our toddler and newborn actually go to sleep. She is originally a Delco girl.
Yeah.
And she thinks Casey is her kindred spirit because of how many similarities they have. Although I think everyone in Delco is similar.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would appreciate it if you could get this on around May 27th, which is her 33rd birthday. So it's the 25th,
Not bad.
you know. I love her so dang much and appreciate everything she does for our family. Thank you in advance. That's from Brian J. Gilbert Jr. So here you go. Shout out to Kelly. So he loves you. And there you go. Happy birthday to you.
Love you.
All right. And another quick thing. We have a new Daily Rush video that's up. It's our chat with Chad Smith yesterday.
Oh, excellent.
Which was great. He talks about drums, art, the mysterious figure creeping behind him as well, which you'll have to see the Daily Rush video to understand. You can watch it now at PrestonandSteve.com, sponsored by I'm having a hard time speaking today. Sponsored by Punchline Philly, Fishtown's first comedy club, restaurant, and bar. And he'll be in Stone Harbor this weekend at an art gallery, which is pretty damn cool. So that's nice. It's good to see things like art galleries having we did the Cora Golf outing yesterday.
Felt good, didn't it?
Cricket Club. It was a great time. It was fun. Casey and Marissa played in a group together with our buddy Sebastian Latou, formerly of the Philadelphia Union, and Marissa's boyfriend Matt. Steve and I followed them around for a little while, met some other people playing golf. It was a great time. It's good to be out. So things are starting to open up, and you guys were noticing some things about that.
Well,
right?
traffic is definitely skipping up. There was an article in the Inquirer about having to manage now reacclimating the traffic surge, and then also businesses are people are returning to business. I was asking Casey off air.
Yeah.
In our own building, I've started to see things being put in place to re-welcome people.
Yeah.
You said you were talking to someone from Philadelphia Insurance.
Yeah, so there's a young woman who works for Philly Insurance who lives in my town where I live, and I ran into her at the Acme, and she was saying, but this was months ago, that she was saying that they were eyeing up September for a full return.
I've seen,
we'll see.
Percentage-wise, Nick, and you were saying that percentage already we've seen a return in the city.
Well, slowly. I mean, the next couple of weeks is going to start to skip back up. But in Center City, Philadelphia, office capacity is only at 29% right now, which I thought was actually pretty low. And some offices are going to start returning full time over the next couple of weeks. Some offices are going to do part time. So I'm going to stick to hybrid. So it's a really interesting conundrum right now to see what they're going to do. But then the ripple effects that happen after that, like people going to restaurants, people hanging out in Center City. Like right now, there's this campaign, this active campaign in Center City, Philadelphia, welcoming people back because they want to drum up business, which you totally understand.
And getting people to work when you come back in the service industry. But I'm curious if you you going back, there's a business right down the hallway here, and I forget the name of it. It's some sort of consulting.
Okay, not Vitalist.
Yeah, maybe that's it. That's been dark since last March.
Well, wait, what happened on the conference call for our company?
I have no idea.
What are we doing?
I was watching Small Wonders.
Yeah, it's kind of businesses as usual. So Our suites are being built. So we've been under construction for ever.
Sweet.
And I know. And hopefully construction will be done in June-ish, mid-June. And then I guess they'll reassess at that point.
So the employees are still doing their hybrid,
they're doing their
working
hybrid
from home.
yeah.
Okay.
But good news here is downstairs in the lobby, what used to be Manja. Do you guys know what's going in there now?
No, what?
Paganos.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And that is confirmed. I talked.
When are they opening?
They were saying July.
Should I know Paganos?
Yeah, well, they've supplied food for meat and eats and stuff like that. Really, really yummy stuff. I think you're going to be very, very happy with having them in the lobby. But Steve, you want to talk about traffic? It took me an hour, and I left the golf outing. I had to leave early yesterday to go to my son's baseball game. And Waze took me off of the Blue Route because the Blue Route started backing up at Villanova. Because it goes down from 3 lanes to 2 lanes, so I mean it's already we're there.
Yeah, the psycho that drives on the Northeast Extension is back. I've seen
you kidding? Really?
Yeah,
so you had a respite for a while from the psycho?
Oh yeah, for a long time. And
wow.
Now, he blew by doing at least 105 miles an hour.
Wait, remember I texted you?
The black pickup truck, right?
I think I saw him. I was going towards your house. I was going the opposite way. And it was around 4 or 5 o'clock. So he could have potentially been coming home from work.
Sure.
I think it was him.
Not just fast, but aggressive, too. Tailgating, cutting people off, the whole thing.
Completely cut me off.
Pennsylvania Highway Patrol. I've actually called you guys, and I've gone by your barracks, and I've asked you to please. All you have to do is be on the Northeast Extension from the Harleysville exit to the Mid-County toll between 4:15 a.m. and 4:30 a.m., and you'll get a guy doing over 100 miles an hour. It's every morning.
Every morning.
Just letting you know.
Hey, and
a disaster.
If you want to get a psycho off the road.
Like a potential deadly disaster waiting to happen.
So he's back, so that's a sign of things returning to normal.
Welcome. Right.
Maybe that guy, here's an idea. Just leave a little earlier.
I know.
And take your time.
Yeah,
no, I guarantee you, whatever time this person would leave, he would drive as recklessly. I think that's what this person appears to get off on.
You're right. So anyway, besides that, I'm wondering, Steve, as you said, these places that have remained vacant for as long as they have, if people maybe. When you found out you weren't going to be going back to work anymore, it might have been, hey, everybody clean out your stuff and grab it, and we'll see you whenever we see you. I'm wondering if people have left things at the office.
Yeah.
Specifically like food that might be going bad.
You forgot that you brought your aquarium in April?
Yeah. Or for whatever, I don't know. Or, and this is a good chance for people who do have access to facilities if they need to be, if they're a caretaker or whatever it may be, maintenance, who might be having the old 5-finger discount,
right,
grabbing some things that are sitting out in the open. I don't know.
I wonder, if you go back to it, and if an office has been shut down for over a year, all right, let's say for over a year, what are we looking at up here?
Somebody, I guess, they left a pizza in the office last March, and there's a picture of this, and it is just covered in mold.
4 days ago, that picture was taken.
Oh my God!
That's not white cheese. That's mold.
No, that's mold.
Gross.
That's disgusting. Wow.
I guarantee you there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff like that because people, and just passing it happens. So okay, just don't come in, and nobody really thought about that.
What about the people who? There's so many different varieties of things going on here.
There's tons.
Maybe your time away from the office have kept you away from that office a-hole that you really just. Maybe this has been a wonderful vacation for you. Because some people have the unfortunate scenario where they work with somebody they just can't stand. And it's not, maybe there's a number of people who work, but there's that one dick, and it's been really nice to be away from that person.
I'm wondering with that, Preston, what percentage of businesses are going to remain, going to dramatically reduce their office space.
Yeah.
And because I know that there are people here
I know.
who have been working, that it's worked out better for them from home, and then other people work better in an office environment.
See, we've been discussing this for a year now, and I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago who he was saying that no, it's going to go back to maybe not the way it was a year ago or a year plus
so
ago.
So if it was 100%, 80%?
But maybe. But he said it's important for everybody to be there together because it's just easier to communicate when you're all together.
I think there's something to be said for that. And I also think there's some people like talk to a salesman who is always coming in who says when he's working from home, he can actually get so much more done because he's not being interrupted for those reasons.
Yeah, I think it depends on the employee.
Yeah,
I mean, and a smart employer will look at his or her employees, and see, you know what, if this person is being effective from home and maybe even more productive, I would allow that person to stay at home.
Like, does this person leave full pizzas on the kitchen table?
That's not as effective.
Yeah, and then wait a year before it starts divvying it up.
And I guess part of it is, like this had to happen to find out if at-home working would actually be feasible or not. Because part of it is a trust thing, they like you trust that employee's at home doing their work, but the results will show whether they are or not, depending on the type of job that it is.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. If you have a measurable outcome to your efforts, things that are a little bit more vague perhaps need to be, like, I'm going to do my warehouse job at home.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
So those things are going to have to return. They did say at the beginning of this, or let's say 5-6 months into it, that a big hit is going to occur in the office space industry, or the office building, or the the industrial complexes and things like that.
And there are jobs attached to that industry. So there are people that work in those offices, that maintain those offices, that design those offices in the first place. And so when those offices close, it's not just the employees not being able to come into work. It's all the jobs all the repercussions from the offices closing in the first place.
Listen to this text. It says, was hired last January, graduated last May, started working last July, and I've never been in the office or met my coworkers. Yeah. It's been almost a year.
I've heard a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, and that was another thing that my friend was talking about was, these people who are, especially are fresh out of college, who, they're looking for maybe a promotion,
right?
Or but I don't know what you even look like. So you getting a promotion? No, I need to see you, and we need to interact.
That's
more.
a good point.
And then the other aspect is, the leases have been signed, right? So. You're not going to get out of a lease. So if you're paying for your office space, then you're going to be using your office space.
Right.
They had this method in Goodfellas of getting out of leases that seemed very effective.
Your text says, landscaper here. Literally, nothing has changed the entire pandemic. Office space is always the same. The mower rarely changes sizes on me.
Yes.
But that's been like us. So our perspective has been a little bit different. We've set it up to where we could continue to come to work, come to the office every single day.
Yeah.
We had a moment where a few of us were working from home. But I know me, Casey, and Steve, and Marissa, for the most part. Well, Marissa was at home for a while,
Just
too.
a little bit, yeah.
But we've been coming in nonstop. It never changed for us. So our perspective is a little bit different,
right.
A lot different than everybody else.
I don't think, honestly, to me, working from home or that remove thing, and we used to talk about it prior to everything, Preston. There are shows, famous shows around the country where the co-hosts would be in different states. We talked about Kevin and Bean, in California for the longest time, being in completely different states. I don't know how you can conduct a show like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was pretty awesome.
I was going to say it might work. I don't know.
I mean, I like to see. There are little things that I think you need to. There's an energy that exists when you're in the same room together.
I think when
it's like an orgy.
Well, when we're all together, there's this energy, right? But if like one of us is not here, then I think maybe they miss out on that energy, right? But
they don't get to hear us talk about them.
No,
I don't know. I felt the energy when I was at home.
Did you like it, Kath?
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I did. I liked parts of it. I didn't love every second of it. I felt like I was on the outside looking in several times, and it really does change the dynamic of what we do on a daily basis.
I didn't feel that. I understand what you're saying, the outside looking in, but I didn't feel like that at all.
I loved in the 10 o'clock hour when the sun would come across Kathy from the side and light her just like the way we saw in her room.
My cheek feels so warm.
I did get to see my neighbor go to the bathroom every morning, which
Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't get to see that now. So, yeah.
Well, he craps on his front lawn.
No, so in my
Nick!
my TV room / office where I eventually ended up doing the show from it's parallel to where their bathroom is, and every morning like clockwork he would go to the bathroom. I don't get to see that when I'm here with you guys, so I'm missing out on that.
You can tell the parking lot dynamic is changing a little bit too. Here, we still have a lot of spaces open, but I think that I'm starting to see more and more spots fill up.
Well, the biggest tenant in this building is Philly Insurance,
Philly
right?
Insurance, yeah.
And they're not here.
And they're not here yet.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there are people that are not looking forward to going back into the office.
Right.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I've talked to people who are like, we can do our job just as good as we've ever done it. Why are you making us come sit in the office?
Because I do know people who are sick and tired of the same four walls and want to, get out. But I mean, you can get out and at least. There was a time when we weren't leaving the house. Period. Or most people weren't.
How many businesses will adopt a hybrid scenario where you? I think you need to go in.
You're going to have to at first,
right? And go and get some stuff, but then that can see the efficacy of like a split schedule.
Well, I told you guys, I think last week I talked about there was a big company that I know a bunch of employees that work there, and it's rumored that they sold their campus, that they sold all of the buildings that house all of these employees, and they are still indefinitely working from home, so much so where a couple that I know is moving to Florida because they can still have their job.
So the employees are all going to be employed. They're just losing their physical.
Well, they don't know. They've been home since the pandemic started. There is no date set. They've been told plan to continue your work and work from home. So a friend of mine is moving to Florida. They both work for the company, and they're like, you know what? They're selling their house and they're going to Florida. And they said if in a year they tell us, okay, you've got to come back in, fine, then we'll move back up. But at this point, they're staying home. They're working from home.
I know a few people that work in Philadelphia and normally work in Philadelphia and also normally work in New York City. And the amount of money that they've saved on travel costs, literally going in and out of the city, not crossing the bridge, not going through the tunnels, and also, believe it or not, like dry cleaning costs. They haven't had to go to the dry cleaner for a year and get suits done. And so it's like, Steve, I think it's $15 to get into the city now in New York, and whatever it is to cross the Ben Franklin Bridge. Yeah, so these daily costs have disappeared over the last year.
So think about this: as we were starting to move, and if you live anywhere near Manayunk, you were starting to see a tremendous amount of apartment complexes and stuff hopping up. And there was a line of thinking was that anybody along the train line that could get so you would not live in this if you worked in Manhattan per se. You would live here, and then you'd commute. So if you're spending an hour and a half, 2 hours driving or an hour and a half on the Acela or something, so you worked it out, and you would save, and you'd live in Manayunk. But right now, all that with teleworking and Zoom conferences, that has changed all that. So I wonder what the urgency is going to be to populate these apartment complexes that are sitting there that were sort of designed with that in mind.
These emails or these texts are flying in like crazy. Somebody said Nationwide closed their Harleysville campus. Everyone stays at home permanently now, so it's like it's done.
Wow.
And that's a big company out my way.
Yeah.
Here's another one. It says, my office sent them to work from home last March. By May, they told them that they're not going back to the office because they were more productive at home.
Wow!
So they did the number crunching, as Jackie Bam Bam says.
Money-saving stuff there.
Yeah.
Let me go to some calls here. I have Colleen. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Wonderful. What's up?
I work from home. I'm actually working from home now. Mm-hmm. They just sent out a survey from the company asking what our opinions were.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping, and they said it would be anonymous, but I put my name on it because I want them to know. I want to stay. I want to stay home.
Okay,
you want to stay home.
I'm saving on insurance. My car insurance goes down because my car insurance, charges me by miles.
And a number of people are texting in about gas and so on. Maintenance.
I don't know when I even filled my gas tank up last time.
Wow.
Let me ask you,
the
Colleen.
Benefits.
Well, what's your line of work?
I am in construction. I am a production coordinator for 2 of our plants.
Okay.
So I can do everything from home, and they know that I can do everything from home. But the bigwigs are the ones that make the decisions, and I don't feel have the pulse on the finger of their employees, but that's my opinion.
Well, let me tell you, if it involves eliminating overhead, then that might very well be something they respond to.
And
Especially if you're able to be productive equally or even perhaps more from home. Do you feel that way?
I absolutely feel that way. I get more interruptions in the office and too many women chatterboxes in the office that disrupt the day. That
Right.
I can just sit at home by myself and get my stuff done.
Well, and the fact that they're asking for your opinion means that they're probably open to it. So, you know.
And I think it might be a general consensus. And from what I'm getting, my pulse on the finger of the people that I've talked to are everybody wants to stay home.
When you're fingering your pulse, I would say this is that I bet you productivity at home skips up when the Steve Wilkos show is on. Sorry.
Wait.
Yeah.
Colleen, do you have set hours when you're working from home? Are you disciplined like that?
Yes, I'm very disciplined. I'm up at 4 a.m. I start my day with Brent. I listen to you guys. I start work at 6, and I work till 2:30.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, good for you. And you're being productive. And so do you think regardless, so whatever they end up deciding, do you think there's going to be some people who are going to be allowed to maintain home work schedules?
I'm hoping. I mean, I think customer service is definitely someone that would have to be in the office.
Right.
You know, it's a little different for them. And not so much at home with dogs barking and babies crying in the background. That doesn't seem right to me.
A lot of offices just naturally pump in the sound of dogs barking and babies crying.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Thank you,
I hope it
Colleen.
works out that way. That's cool.
Appreciate it.
Have a great one.
All right, we'll see you later. This is Cameron that we're going to go to next. Hey, Cameron, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, what's up, my man?
I've been working from home since last March. I'm an estimator for a construction company and discovered that I can do almost 100% of my job at home. So my workday was always based on a 10-hour day, and I found that I can do 10 hours of work in 6 hours when I'm home.
Wow. All right, so do you feel that those additional 4 hours that were a part of your other day were just wasted time or office chatter or what?
Here's a perfect example. I do have to stop in the office occasionally to print out plan sets and such. I stopped in yesterday. I tried to get in and get out without anybody seeing me, but the boss caught me. And he says, hey, we just hired a bunch of guys, and we're going to have to add some offices. And, what do you think? Should we add them here? Maybe we should knock out a wall. 45 minutes I spent there talking about how to build new offices.
Right.
Right. That's my day if I'm in the office.
So there's a lot to be said for being able to hyper-target what you do and not be distracted.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Our meetings. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm like, we're sitting in our meetings. I'm like, oh my God, this is just eating up productive time that I could be using.
What did we learn on the show today?
Oh my God,
we just did it.
We just did the show.
We know what we did.
I mean, I would rather spend time prepping and searching for things that might be topic worthy as opposed to some of the stuff
Bill's
that we
great.
talk about. Bill is great.
He's great, and he's going through things that I've said to him, and sometimes he'll even casual.
I know, Steve, you say not to talk about what we did on the show.
How about I got in trouble? Yes, really got in trouble in the meeting yesterday. You weren't paying attention?
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So this is something that Bill does. It's all the time to one person, specifically one person. He probably doesn't want me to say anything, but so I won't say.
It's Eric from promotions.
So he'll toss it to Eric, and he'll be like, "All right, Eric, what do you got in promotions?" Eric will get 3 words in, and Bill will cut him off and start talking about something else on Bill's list of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Like he'll literally say, "Okay, go ahead, Eric," and Eric will go, "Okay, so for the," and then Bill,
and another thing.
Yeah, and Bill will cut him off and go back to whatever he was talking about. And so Eric and I look at each other every time he does it, and we kind of like chuckle. So yesterday I laughed, but I laughed out loud, and he was like, "Well, what did I do? What, Kathy?"
It's so funny.
Eric tried to back him up. He's like, no.
He did back him up.
It has to relate to what I'm about to talk about. But we didn't know what Eric was about to talk about because he didn't get 4 words into what he was going to say.
And he's done it so many times that we're used to that happening. Also, the number of times that Bill ends the meeting and then doesn't end the meeting is preposterous. He'll say, okay, and we're done. Motion for adjournment. And then he'll add 3 more things after that.
But he's trying. And
Is he?
They've gotten
I don't think he is.
They've gotten shorter than they used to be. That's definitely true.
Yes, they have gotten better. It used to be really, really, really long.
And he's in there swinging, so I give him all the credit for that.
Listen, our meetings, I just don't, at the same time, they are meant to I don't know, maybe talk about things. Everybody, myself included, is completely checked out. It's like, well, when are we supposed to discuss these
I think
things?
what has to happen is the way we talk about things outside the show that pertain for show content, and that to me those meetings are more on the order of finding out promotionally what we have coming up and things that that we might be able to take advantage of.
Yeah,
and they work on that level.
But I think what people are finding is time management.
Yes,
is much easier at home. Than it is around the office for whatever reason. Because while one thing may be important to one individual of the office, another one might find it mundane or intrusive in their flow of trying to get this project done or this thing that they need to get done. And I think that it can put a halt on productivity.
Well, because when it's on you, when it's specifically on you, it's on your time. It's your responsibility to, as opposed to, somebody who's planning a meeting or
and it'll become glaringly obvious if you have this set of things you need to achieve and you're from home. There have been a number of people. There are people who work well in the collective, and there are people who work better in isolated and doing their own thing. And I think that's all going to shake out now.
Another aspect of at home versus in office working is when, like here, and so I talk to Eric Simon about this all the time, because when he calls me and I answer, he goes, "Oh, thank you so much for picking up." I'm like, "Well, you called, so I pick up." He goes, "Yeah, but you don't have to." And the difference between that is like, if I was walking down the hall and I walked into Eric's office, he has no option but to give me his attention and his time because I am there in person. But if you're making a phone call, and let's say I'm in the middle of doing something, I don't have to answer that phone call. I can actually finish the task at hand and then call back whoever is trying to get my attention. But you don't have that option.
He can put his hands over his ears and close his eyes.
Yeah, people don't do that.
So we're getting to the cusp of opening back up. New Jersey's going to pull back more restrictions this weekend, and still it's up to the business to make those a call as to whether to still be cautious or not. We're going to remain a little more cautious here for a while, I think. But it is starting to unravel, or whatever
open up.
Yeah, it's starting to open up a little bit now. So we're starting to get in that mode and maybe start to think about what it might be like when you are back in the old swing of things.
It'll be good to get back to inter-office sex, which was such a big part of what we did.
That's been away for a while. Hang on, let me go to Kelly, a college professor. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning. It's so good to call in. First time, long time.
Awesome. Where do you mind me asking where you teach?
Sure. I'm at Westchester University and Delaware County Community College.
Nice. So you must pass by the Kathy Romano statue every morning.
Have they finished that statue?
They're getting ready. They have to gold plate it.
Oh, right, okay.
It's done, but they gotta gild it.
It's still under construction.
All right. Cool. Thanks,
Kelly. I gotta believe that teaching has got its hurdles when you're talking about non-in-person, when you're talking about online or Zoom stuff, right?
Yeah, it's attendance is non-existent, and I teach public speaking, so it didn't go well.
Yeah.
No, and there's something, in general, again, water finds its own level, but I think at some level, what you do, you obviously you need to be in front of people. That's part of the dynamic. And Westchester, in and of itself, and that whole experience, and Kathy talks so lovingly about her time there and the experience about being out and about and interacting with other people. This has to feel like the way it should be for you, correct, Kelly?
I'm excited to go back, and I feel really bad for the freshmen that have come in during this and the seniors that have graduated.
Right.
So they've kind of been robbed about that experience that Kathy talks about so lovingly. It's a shame.
Well, listen, so everything, at least for your understanding, if everything is going by the book here, we're going to, in September or, late August, return to full normalcy at Westchester?
So Westchester is going back to full normalcy. Delaware County is actually offering a bunch of different options because the student base is different.
All right. Okay. Well, we're glad you're excited about that. And so are you taking some time off for the summer?
I teach summer courses as well, but I mean, they're just online, asynchronous, so I basically just hit a button every week. And
okay.
Like, good luck.
But your finger gets sore. I mean, you hit enough buttons, so yeah.
I've developed carpal tunnel. I'm young.
You don't need that. Yeah.
All right, Kelly, thanks for checking in. We appreciate it.
Have a good day, everyone.
All right, we'll see you later. I saw somebody who said, texted in, said, tired working from home. Sexual harassment was ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, let me go to one more call real quick here. I have Jen on the phone. Hi, Jen. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. What's up, Jen?
So I'm actually the opposite to that. I'm an HR director for a medical marijuana grow. And during the pandemic, the TA card holders skyrocketed because there are so many people at home with all the new issues and everything going on. Like anxiety is the number one reason to be a card holder. So our sales have quadrupled. We've grown unbelievably, and we can't find people to come back to work.
So you're bringing up one of the main issues. It's rare now to pass by any business where you don't see a help wanted sign up there because it's just so crazy. And so
it's unbelievable.
What percentage what percentage understaffed are you guys right now? Do you care to make an estimate?
Probably about 50%.
50%.
Easily.
Jen,
what types
employ about 300 people by the end of this year. Right now, we're at about 114.
What types of jobs are people performing at a medical cannabis company?
It is actually a cultivation center. So it's an indoor grow facility. We just opened our first dispensary in Chester. So we have retail opportunities. We have agricultural opportunities, production, manufacturing.
Let's
all things you can't do from home.
Jen, let's state that again. A place that is actively growing pot
marijuana
is having difficulty finding employees.
Wow.
You get to play with pot all day and compete with unemployment.
Jen, what company is it, if you can say?
It is called Agrikind, and we are located in Chester. We have a ton of opportunities, and we want not just to be a part of the amazing industry, but to bring work back to a struggling economic workforce. We have opportunities.
No, that's great. I have to assume that your cafeteria area has about 200 vending machines.
About 3, but the snacks are amazing.
Hey, do me a favor, Jen, send me an email, okay?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
About this, Preston at WMMR.com, okay?
You got it. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.
Think about that. An industry that's not going away, they're at 50%. You know, because whatever you're experiencing right now, and I certainly understand that, it's been tough. Certainly, we've been blessed. We have been blessed, and it's not lost on us. We've been trying to help out in every way possible. But here's an industry, that is right there with jobs available. Check it out.
And if I could get one of my sons to work there, I could get a discount.
Unbelievable. You'd be showing up at work all the time.
By the way, any companies experiencing this where you're low on staffers, you can leave a message on the Love You Help You line, and we'll try and get the word out there for you. Do what we can.
And a word of warning, anybody who is currently unemployed and choosing to stay unemployed to collect your unemployment checks, employers are now, they're on to you, and they're turning you in. Like I've talked to people who can't get people to work for them, and because they're collecting unemployment, and they're now calling the unemployment office saying, "All right, listen, I know Joe Smith. I've offered him work. He is declining it. So because you're actually if you're collecting unemployment, you're supposed to be actually looking for work, and there's a lot of people out there that aren't doing that. But you are currently being turned in. Like people you are turning down.
Keep in mind too, if you go to an employer who needs your help right now, they will remember that you stepped up to come in and help out, and that can be a ticket to advancement down the road.
Imagine what your Christmas bonus is going to be like at a pot place.
It's prime right now for you to get in good with the boss, man.
Preston, you're right. And you're also being bonused and incentivized for just showing up.
Yep. All right. Listen, we got to take a break. We're going to come back in a moment. Don't forget, we have a free tattoo for you to win today. It's Tattoo Tuesday. Text word tattoo to 39333. We're going to randomly draw someone to get a $350 gift certificate for Floating World Tattoo and Piercing. They're located at 1729 South Street in Philadelphia. You can check them out at floatingworldtattoos.com or on Instagram at Floating World Tattoos. Preston and Steve theme for your ink, by the way. We'll take a break and come back in a moment. Stay with us.
The robust geek population of Barcelona.
Barcelona has lots of geeks. But it started in 2006, and it was when a Spanish blogger by the name of Germán Martínez, who chose the day to coincide with the 1977 release of Star Wars. So that's why it is on May 25th. Geek Pride Day spread rapidly across the internet and soon after the world, drawing attention from mainstream media as well. One of the events organized to celebrate this day was in Madrid when 300 geeks played a game of human Pac-Man together. That's a very geeky thing to do.
It's very geeky.
A list of the basic rights and responsibilities of geeks was also written up. The rights included the right to not like football or any other sport, and the right to not be in style. And the responsibilities include attend every geeky movie on opening night and buy every geeky book before anyone else. 2008 was the first year when Geek Pride Day was officially celebrated in the U.S. And 1 year later, 2009, news of the day had reached the Science Channel that decided to take part in celebrating by airing a special program on May 25th. In 2010, Geek Pride Day spread even further to countries like Canada, Hungary, Israel, Romania, and Geek Pride Parade was held in Gothenburg, Sweden in 2013.
So I've had geeky aspects. I know you have as well throughout my life, and there are things that that I was very, very swept up in, like that first opening night, that waiting in line, that being the first to get the book or to see it and all that stuff. That was when that was an achievable goal in my mind, when there was less. There weren't 14,000 streaming channels and 14,000 everything, and it became something you could do. And now it's less important, but I still, for me, and you've said it, many times in the past. At this point in my life, like you see a new Marvel trailer, and it's or DC, it's like Zack Snyder. Oh. Here we go.
I'm happy. I'm thrilled at the rise of geek culture. But I have a little tiny issue.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I hate when really good-looking, popular people claim to be geeks.
You don't.
I don't think.
You think they're jumping on a bandwagon? It's like when the supermodel says, "I was a tomboy."
I have a little bit of an issue with that because, and it's great. Listen, I think it's great. I think it's great to embrace that. But man. You got to be kind of ugly. You got to be kind of.
What if you were an ugly duckling?
You got to be kind of put upon. You got to be kind of. You got to have a little bit of this.
What if they actually like it?
That's true.
Okay. Yes, that's great.
And they do. And there are so many. This is the thing about Preston, and I completely understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I completely understand what you're saying. And I've had to come to terms with the fact that we are now moving into a time when there are fully genuine, very attractive geeks who know the lore, the legend, the minutia, and that's happened. So now we've got to get into snuff films.
But you can still... You, the really super good-looking geek that likes geeky things person, can still get away with things that the real nerd can't.
Nah, I don't know. I think this is
like dinner on Blanc.
This is a great opportunity to break down walls. Right? You can have good-looking geeks.
Right.
You can have nerdy-looking athletes. You know what I mean?
It just amazes me because we do live in a time now where there are tremendous amount of people. I'm thrilled that those bridges have been built and that there is that you can go. Like there used to be, for example, the advent of the cosplay girl, Preston, and the cosplay people. You would have these women who would go to the conventions and the science fiction conventions and so on and so forth in San Diego Comic-Con. And it was they would go and they would do the thing and they were just putting on costumes randomly and they would go do the deal and make some money. Now you have ones who are completely, deeply immersed in anime and deeply immersed in Marvel and are meticulous and love it all. And it's changed. Like, I think by tacit exposure, you now have a breed of super geek. You know, like that. Whereas there was the super serum for Chris Evans, you now have the next evolutionary step in geeks, and they can be, everybody. Yeah. But I know it's something. It's like you always do it as and we talk about the. When you think your favorite artist is selling out, or like, you can't do this is our thing. We tend to do that.
But I don't know where I would fit in, because I was I played all the sports growing up, and every single season I was doing it was baseball, football, basketball, swimming, diving, lacrosse.
You wore Speedos.
I wore Speedos. Yeah. But I did it all. But there were a lot of things in the geek culture that I liked as well. Now, I didn't read comic books, but it wasn't because that was too geeky for me. I just didn't like reading. Right. But I loved all the superhero cartoons and the movies and TV shows and stuff. But I don't know where I fit.
Well, all right. So I have a question. What's the difference between a geek, a nerd, and a dork?
All right. We talked about this years ago.
The age-old question, Nick.
A dork was the last one I was
geek,
going to say.
Nerd, spaz.
It's a whale's penis.
Dweeb. Right. There's a whole series of them. We tried to break down, Nick, this might have been before you were on the show. Yeah. Long time ago. I remember having this detailed conversation about it, and we could never really nail down exactly what the differences were between those things. I mean, nerd, you think of the stereotypical. You think of Louis Skolnick.
That's right. Yeah.
With the glasses and the tape in the middle and that whole thing.
But the geek is more into, I think, the pop culture. The fringe, the stuff that used to be fringe and now basically fuels Hollywood.
Yeah. And I just think maybe I've put I've associated the word more with people that are not just into things that are considered geeky, like Dungeons and Dragons and comic books and stuff like that, but that were awkward too. That
the forgotten
or are still awkward.
The downtrodden.
I mean? Yes, exactly.
The cast aside.
Yeah,
There's where there was no place at the dinner en blanc table, and now.
Well, let me ask. So you mentioned Louis Skolnick, and you have the those guys from Just One of the Guys, but those are caricatures, like those.
Oh man, I knew a couple of people exactly like that.
Straight up like that? Okay.
Yeah.
I also, I went to Catholic school where everybody wore the same thing.
When we met Kathy,
she was like, I'd really like to be on the show. Big fan of Tolkien.
And I wasn't to that level, but I felt like I was a few steps down from the elites. Maybe it's that. Listen, it all goes back to high school for me. I got scars. All right?
Yeah, we all do.
And we all do, right? Man, yeah. And I try not to dwell on them, but from time to time they rear their ugly head.
Yeah.
And I think about that, and I think about the elites and how much that did bother me at that time.
High school beats the piss out of you.
It does, man.
And you
junior high,
and you get angry, and it's stuff you need to learn how to process throughout your life. Because you have to realize that is a bizarre environment and configuration that hopefully will never be replicated in the rest of your life. But it's real, and everyone goes through it.
Yep. I'm going to go to Elise. Hi, Elise. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to bother you guys at work.
No, it's all good. What's up, Elise?
So I'm listening to you guys talk about this, and I'm laughing because my boyfriend, he is super good looking, but his whole issue is that he can't get in with the geeks because they immediately judge him because he's good looking. And so he feels like he wants to be able to nerd out with people, and he's like, they all think that I'm there and I'm faking it, and I'm not.
You know what, Elise? And that should not be the geek philosophy. The geek, like with science fiction and things of that nature, that's all about Star Trek and stuff, and about accepting and Gene Roddenberry's infinite diversity and infinite combinations and all of that stuff. But they're suspicious of him.
He's like, I want to go to GameStop and play Magic, and I walk in there, and everybody's like, no.
What has he? Can he show that he has the chops? Can he put some tape on his glasses?
Why don't you just grow your beard out real long and walk in a flannel and some cargo pants, and you'll be good.
You know what, at least maybe that's right. That's something that I had not considered. It does turn around the other way. And in fact, if you go back to the movie 16 Candles, where Farmer Ted, the geek, where he goes, the geeks, he's like, well, I'm kind of the king of the geeks. So he bosses his little underlings around.
It's true. Everyone pisses on someone.
Yeah. And
some do it as a job.
And some like being pissed on.
Exactly.
So,
yes, they do.
I've seen videos.
I just feel it's a double-edged sword. If you like the fantasy world and you have a semi-decent looking face.
I hang on, Elise. I want to give you that. You are correct. I'm now, my eyes are opening up to that.
You've helped convince Preston a little bit. Elise, where do you stand on this stuff? Do you embrace it as well?
So I grew up a homeschooled awkward kid, and then I kind of blossomed in college. So I'm in the same boat as he is. I get totally caught oh, you don't know shit about this
stuff.
Yeah, you can't say that. Yeah, you don't know stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's sit down and chat. And then I end up blowing all these nerds away, and it's really fun.
All right, okay.
Let me ask you about your homeschooling real quick, because I heard something on a TV show last week, and I don't know if this is true, but they likened it to two things, right? Were your parents either super religious or were they hippies?
Religious.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
What was the show?
But it typically is one or the other.
Was it Mythic Quest?
I saw it too. No.
What was it?
I don't remember. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
All right, Elise, thank you.
Was it Wheel of Fortune?
It was not.
I can't remember what I watched last week.
And by the way, Elise, what's your good-looking boyfriend's name?
Alex.
All right.
Guys, be nice to Alex.
Yeah.
Come on.
He just wants to play.
Yeah.
He just wants to play with you guys.
Yeah. They're jealous because he got super hot Elise.
Yeah. That's probably true. Elise, are you super hot?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay.
Well, send us pictures.
Send us your Instagram account, and we'll take a look.
Listen,
I get asked for my number at gas stations, so I don't know what
there you go.
Yes, you are.
But
that's where I do it.
I do too. I
Gas
guess my
stations.
number at gas station. Well, you got pretty lips, boy.
Thank you, Elise.
All right, have a great day, guys.
All right, Nick found this. This is a really good description, Nick. I do like this. What is the source here? Is it
EnergyVanguard.com? It's just basically asking the question that I brought up.
So here are the definitions of nerd, geek, and dork, according to this, and it's pretty good. A nerd is someone who is passionate about learning, being smart, and academia.
Yes, I can see that.
A geek is someone who is passionate about some particular area or subject, often an obscure or difficult one.
Okay.
That makes
would
sense.
fall true, yeah.
And then a dork is someone who has difficulty with common social expectations and interactions.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
social...
Like the Unabomber.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, no, you're socially awkward. You can't pick up on social cues.
You crap yourself.
And I feel terrible for people like that.
No, listen, there's so many wonderful people I've known throughout my life. Fortunately, I've been, of course, the bon vivant that you know me as. No, I've been in that position because I ended up in new schools so many times.
Yeah.
I had to sort of always re-earn my cred, but I always got lumped in with people who were perpetually that way, and I felt bad for them. Not that they needed my pity, but the awkward, the fringe people always turn out to be very interesting. It's like 3 o'clock high, Preston. You know, the same these movies. You know, where if you just took the time, or the movie. We always reference the movies. My Bodyguard.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Brett. Says here he's the owner of the Pop Inn. It's this great restaurant that I've been to for. That's in Chalfont, right, Brett?
It is. It is in Chalfont, and yes, since we've been open, we've gotten plenty of pop culture nerds and geeks in here. But I'd like you to know that we are not terribly overrun with overly attractive people.
Okay.
Let me ask you, Brent, have you noticed an increase in the more what the society would deem attractive people who are into this as well, men and women who you would normally not see? Are the tides turning?
The tides, I suppose, are turning. It's a little difficult to judge during this whole pandemic thing.
Sure.
We're just kind of getting back to normal at this point, but we kind of have the same nerds and geeks in here, and I hang out with them. I play Magic with them. We do some board games, and they're not that great to look at.
Jump in for a second, Preston. Sorry, I'm wondering, to that point that Brent just made, Do you think the pandemic has fostered, because you have so many people looking for things now, that we might see an uptick in?
For sure.
So you may have your supermodel, your Chippendales dancer, and your supermodel who are now into Magic the Gathering.
Well, let's put it this way. Things have come down to people love it when they think they can make money at things.
Yes.
And the prices of Magic cards and sports cards, lots of other collectibles, even, I'm sure it's even trickled into Star Wars collectibles, all that stuff. All that stuff has just kind of gone through the roof as far as value goes. So when it comes to making money, I'm sure a lot of more attractive people will jump on the bandwagon.
By the way, Brent, this texter wanted to text in about the pop-in, and they said they've enjoyed your marquee messages during the pandemic.
Nice.
Oh, well, thank you.
And Steve, you love this place. It's loaded
I've
with
got to get there.
Toys and thrones and pop culture stuff, and the food's all named after like Klingon dishes.
You had a birthday party there, right? Didn't you?
We just went. Maybe we did. Maybe they did take part for his birthday. Yeah. And you guys do trivia nights and stuff like that, right, Brent?
We do.
You did,
we do. We kind of had to. We still do trivia, every regular kind of general knowledge trivia every Wednesday, but we kind of had to give up we used to have all Star Wars trivia or all Game of Thrones trivia. I do plan on doing an all Friends trivia pretty soon.
Okay.
But we wanted to wait until we were kind of back to normal. So after Memorial Day, once they get rid of the space limitations and 6 feet apart between tables, that'll be a lot easier.
Excellent.
Brent, let me ask you, and I want to ask you guys something, because it just sort of dawned on me that things like Magic the Gathering or even like a trivia night or Dungeons and Dragons, I'm wondering if maybe people gravitate towards that because it is a way to socialize, and it is almost like it's almost like a life vest, where at least you're not completely reliant on conversation. No, conversation.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So that is the way to socialize. Do you know what I mean? Rather than
is. I mean, we'll play for 4 or 5 hours, and I'll go home, and my wife will ask me, "Oh, you saw so-and-so, what's he up to?" I was like, I have no idea. We didn't talk.
Yes.
I played Magic the Gathering once with my son. I wanted to kill him. I hate that game. I hate it. I'll play other games with him, but I tried, and we tried to do the simplest version of it, and I'm like, oh, God, it was driving me nuts. It's so intricate.
So I had someone as well.
The basics of Magic are simple, but the game is extremely complex. I think they had like a research team from Princeton studied games from all time, and they named Magic the most complicated game of all time.
Yeah, Brent, I had someone attempt to do likewise the same thing that had happened with Preston, and then I decided to play my own game called Magic the Drink the Clorox.
Right.
Yeah, because I couldn't. I just couldn't.
It's an acquired taste. All right,
sure is.
Brent, thanks, man. We appreciate you checking in. Good luck with everything.
Appreciate it.
I'll come see you sometime soon. It's called Pop In, and they're in Chalfont.
So, well, listen, in honor of, was it International Geek Day? Or?
It's just Geek Pride Day.
Geek Pride Day.
Yeah.
I'd been working on an impression. You guys want to hear it? So, Steve, you do your Batman impression, but you have that...
processor.
You have the processor. Okay. I don't have a processor.
Are we supposed to guess what this impression is?
No, it's Batman. It's Batman.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Please, keep that kryptonite away from me.
Is that a line he says in the movie?
No, please keep that kryptonite away from me.
You sound like Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Oh.
It sounds like it hurts when you do that.
No.
Please keep that cookies away from me.
Is it because it's a Superman impression?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've been working on it.
I got it. Really good. It's really good.
I got it.
So it's a Superman impression.
I was confused why the whole kryptonite thing.
It's a terrible joke that I heard with Chuck over the weekend. You say this is Batman, but you obviously say Superman line, and then somebody says, that's Superman, and then you go, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like, that's Superman. I told Chuck, I said, dude, I'm going to hang myself out to dry next week.
Yeah.
But you did it, man. You took the bullet.
Are we on air?
Yeah, we are.
I think we're still on air.
In fact, Bill's coming down the hallway with an award for Casey. That was great.
That was amazing.
That's an immediate A+. That's like my joke. Good morning, Cincinnati.
He knows funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Please, keep that kryptonite.
Just don't do one that sounds like Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
Like the thanks man thing. I was like, I didn't even get that part of it. So sorry, man.
Nick got it. He was following.
I know.
I enjoyed every second of it.
And Bill's has that award in his hands.
Yep. Yeah.
Including the awkward.
I'm gonna go. It's Geek Pride Day. I'm gonna go to Nick. Hi, Nick. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. What's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy. How you doing, man?
Good, good. I wanted to go off of what you were saying earlier, Preston, about how like all these pretty boys and like supermodels and stuff claim to be geek when it's clearly that they're not.
Yeah.
But I have actually run into a couple of them that are full-on geeks.
Yes.
That I actually played D&D on a weekly basis with the guy who was our all-star quarterback in my high school.
There you go. There you go.
And you know what? And after Nick pulled up this description, this definition of a geek being, maybe I'm misinterpreting the word geek. Because maybe I'm thinking it's nerd, geek, dork, all that rolled into one. But geek, apparently, according to this definition, is being intensely captivated by one particular thing, which is usually not a very popular thing, I guess, or it's something that you really dive into and want to learn every single little bitty bit thing about. So maybe I'm being wrong about what a geek is.
And these things by their nature, Nick, maybe you can agree with this as well, is that this is a bridge, and it should be something that's inclusive and that's fun, and that you invite people into enjoying. You people who are fans of these things, like Casey, you with with Fish wanting to proselytize the message. I want you to experience it, and maybe you can like this. So that's, I think, the nature of a geek wants to spread that joy. Correct?
Absolutely.
All right.
Like I couldn't tell you how many people I've gotten into the whole Godzilla universe just based off the newest movies alone.
Yeah, I love Godzilla.
I've been watching it since I was a little kid, and being able to share my fandom since I was a little kid, it makes me happy seeing stuff like that.
Listen, I hear you. Like that. For me, pop culture is so much a cornerstone of my life. It provides such joy.
Hey, Nick, did you read Ready Player One, the book?
I never read it. I just seen the movie.
Oh, then you don't know the story. Go read the book if you like Godzilla and stuff like that, and any of those Japanese television shows like Ultraman and Space Giants and stuff like that. You will absolutely think it's the greatest book you've ever read. Trust me on that.
I think I have something to do this weekend.
There you go, man. All right, thanks, Nick. I appreciate
it. Stay safe, guys. Have a good one.
By the way, somebody said we should make Bad Dad Joke Cookie Monster a character. so you have to do all the dad jokes.
What was the last one I just did off air?
The thing is that it was not attempting a Cookie Monster,
No, it wasn't.
but that became your default.
Take that tonight away from me. Tell me, do you like cookies? Me too.
Me too.
Tonight, when you go back home, turn off the cookie light.
Tell me, do you like to eat cookies? Me too.
Did you know that Mortal Kombat was
it from Finland?
No.
What was the joke?
I forget.
I forget.
It's something like...
My mother was born in Iceland, and my father was born in Cuba. That makes me an ice cube.
Mortal Kombat was based off of a Scandinavian song. It was a Finnish hymn.
You get it? You get it? Finish him.
All right, I like Bad Dad Joke Cookie Monster.
Oh, man.
It's a thing now, Kat.
Yeah.
Kathy!
Wow.
Oh, God.
Anything to make you cringe, Kath.
Anything.
Let me go to Amy. Hi there, Amy. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, Amy?
Doing good.
What's up?
Everything that you're talking about is something that we have in Phoenixville, which is outside of Valley Forge. We have a place called Gamers Heaven.
Yes. I've looked at it online. My son discovered that. And you guys are you're a huge facility, right?
We're about a little bit, 10,000 square feet.
That's good enough.
Want to be.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's badass.
I mean, I certainly love it, but it's intended.
Can my son come work there, please? You guys, I desperately want to get him to get in a job in a facility like that because all he does is want to play video games and Magic the Gathering and manga.
He's
and
a savant
anime
with this
and all that
stuff.
stuff.
Wait, what's
And
manga?
I hate to be the one to tell you, but we actually have to work during our shifts.
No. I know. I just
Saddest
want
part
to
of the
get.
day.
I just wanted to get him around in that environment of something that he enjoys doing. My dad gave me the greatest advice I've ever had in my life, which was, whatever you decide to do with your life, make sure it's something you enjoy. And I know he enjoys that, so maybe we can talk off
Yes,
air.
yeah.
Send an email in.
All right.
Why don't you give them free commercials, Preston?
But anyway, what were you going to say? I'm sorry, Amy. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no problem. We saw a lack of this a couple of years ago. The owner, Andrew, had traveled to Japan and Korea and brought the idea of, the PC bongs over to America, and we made it our own.
Right.
So that it has the anime community, the geek community, the nerd community, the card games, the D&D. We have a huge screen theater because all of us are a little bit movie mad, and we just like going there and bringing everything together.
Let me ask you, Amy, do you find that even like within the environment there, do you get into these discussions about cred and who is posers, and if people
no,
okay,
that's not allowed in the store. It's gatekeeping, and we don't have that. We don't stand for it.
All right, good. So people come in. It doesn't matter if you love the material, or if you're a novice, or you're well seasoned. Everyone's welcome.
And you guys sell ramen?
We do sell ramen right now. We got to switch equipment, so our ramen's down. Sorry, guys.
Oh, man.
But,
Ramen's down.
Ramen's down. Ramen down, man.
Ramen's down. That's the new Channing Tatum movie. Ramen down.
We have boba though.
Boba tea.
To keep afloat from last year from COVID. We were like, let's sell boba. That's one of the best decisions.
Well, I love all the Japanese stuff. That's great. That's awesome. Very cool. So yeah, and Gamers Heaven is the name of the place. And Amy, so do you find are there a lot of women, a lot of people of all types coming in there?
There are people of all types. We're a safe community. That's actually part of our that's who we are. We want to be a safe community for everyone to come in. So everyone is allowed. We've got kids who come in and they want to play Pokemon cards as early as 10 years old.
Yep.
Parents are still have to be there, and we've got people who have been playing D&D longer than I've been alive.
Do you have supermodels and male bodybuilders coming in?
Models, male. We do have cosplayers. We have a cosplay ambassador who actually travels with us.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Very
Do anything special for Geek Pride Day?
We did not. We did not.
Well, the ramen machine is down, Preston, so...
They close up shop for the day.
Maybe they're going to do ramen down.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, my God. That would be great.
Amy, I'll be reaching out to you guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice
All
day.
right. See you later.
That'd be so cool if you could get something like that.
I think this is Bill Lambing here on line 3.
Dukes of Hazzard guy?
Yeah, it's got to be. Hey, Bill.
Good morning, Ed.
It is you. How you doing, man?
Good, great. Yes, happy Geek Day.
Yeah,
Happy
same to
Geek
you.
Day,
You
Bill.
were definitely an extreme geek in the world of television shows and cars from television shows, right?
Yes, I am. I have a Roscoe police car, hence the Dukes of Hazzard geek. But I also own a Supernatural Impala.
The Supernatural Impala. Now, did you lend this to Amanda?
don't even know what that is.
The TV show Supernatural,
Yeah,
and
I
the
don't know.
brothers rode around in this Impala. It was their cars, souped up, and it's how they throughout the 55 years of the show. There's a picture of it, Preston, up on the.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
and it was a cool car. And you lent this to? Did you lend this to Amanda?
Yes, I did.
For her wedding pictures, yeah,
wedding.
for Chris.
Yes.
Okay, our friend of the show.
420.
Very-
And my inspection was 420 on my inspection sticker, which was pretty funny.
There you go. There you go.
I like it.
But this Supernatural Impala was also actually used on DC Legends of Tomorrow.
So you got used for it.
Yes, so it's actually a TV screen news car. It was aired April 20th of last year. The episode was called Zeri, Not Zeri.
How much does that increase the value of the car, or like if you could? So there's a whole subculture that goes around and they'll have these cars, even restored models, if they can get a celebrity to sit in it, someone associated with the show, or to get it some screen time, it'll up the value of that vehicle. Correct?
I I bow down to you, Steve. You are more of a geek than I am. Yes, you are correct on that.
Yeah.
It usually ups the value on any of those vehicles.
Very cool.
I got Starsky and Hutch friends that have the TV show cars, the generally original cars, and stuff like that.
And the Peggy Lee, which is a lesser-known car.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
Well, Bill sends us
the,
photos all the time of fairly obscure stars that he gets pictures with. You know, like you've met Patrick Duffy before, and
yes,
all
Big Head
kinds.
Patrick Mint-
Yeah, and so Bill is sending us pictures all the time, and they're great. I love seeing them. Yeah. So
And I have driven by the Pop Inn there in Chalfont. It's not too far from me, and I die laughing at all the marquee signs.
Excellent.
All right,
Hey, look at this side, but the other side's funnier.
Oh, I love it.
That's great.
I've yet to get in there, so I'll be stopping in there soon.
All right.
Good to hear from you, Bill.
Happy Geek Pride Day, all right, man?
Thanks a lot, guys.
right.
Same to you.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Hey, Press.
Yeah.
How do you throw an outer space party?
How?
You plan it.
Go back to the cookie monster.
Yeah.
Go back to the finish him.
I like to finish him. All right. Anyhow, just acknowledging Geek Pride Day. So if you're a geek, have some pride. We're going to take a break. We'll be back and get to the Bizarre Files, so make sure you stay with us.
Preston and
going to be in Philly next week. She's got shows at Punchline Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I know a lot of people are excited.
I certainly am. I'm going to go see her.
About the fact that she's coming into town. Please welcome Melissa Villaseñor.
Yay! Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
What's happening? Good morning.
We're happy to have you on. So, are you checking in from your home this morning?
Yes, from my home in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, in lovely Brooklyn. Well, you did you get some time to breathe a sigh of relief? There was the season finale of SNL. First time with a full audience in quite some time. So that seemed like it was an electric thing to be a part of, though it was at the end of everything. What was that like?
What a difference. It was really beautiful and magical to see the full crowd.
You know, it's the nature, and we have so many comedians that we talk with, and we're friends with a lot, and there's just a dynamic. With the SNL experience, you need a full audience because so much of what you do is tailored to different sections, different comedic sensibilities. And when you reduce the audience, you reduce the likelihood of things that are legitimately funny landing. Not that we need to have other people tell us something is funny, but it seems more correct to have that full, robust sound.
Yeah, it just felt so warm.
Yeah.
You know? To just see everyone together. It was beautiful. And that's what I'm excited for all my shows, too. I feel like I'm going to do full capacity too.
Which is great. I mean, so we it's been funny, and I'm sure, Melissa, you've been, and SNL's been going through it, and all the shows. You don't want to seem cavalier. You want to do things safely. And so you had to kind of pull the trigger on different things and say, well, we got to lock and load. I see a cat tail in your basement.
Her cat is on her lap.
I approve.
And the tail keeps popping up in her face.
We have 9 cats, so trust me, I know exactly what you're going through. But so at a certain point, were you learning from week to week, status-wise? Things have remained so fluid. There had to be a big sense of start, stop throughout the year, correct?
No, we plowed through.
Yeah. I mean, I know you guys kept going, but I'm saying is how you would handle, because things kept changing so much.
Yeah, big time. No, it was always the very little bit, a minimum amount of people for the crowd until that final show.
You know, was wild when you were doing the stuff from home. And, you'd think, okay, this has got to be weird to have that thrown at you. But yet I found it sort of purely like Ernie Kovac's, creative. Like, in other words, like.
It was creative, for sure.
What was that like for you to be doing stuff that way, sort of guerrilla style comedy?
I mean, I think for me, it kind of reminded me of before SNL, I was always making my own videos at home. I was dressing up in impressions. And I think that it just brought me back to those days. And it was fun. I had a good time.
So you with the writers, would you pitch something, or were the writers sending you? Okay.
It was like the same thing as this season. I mean, we never wrote physically together. It was always like I'd call or text a writer and say, hey, I have this idea for this. What do you think? And then they'd be on board or not on board. And then we would write it together. So,
well, you mentioned doing skits from home, and you have a YouTube channel that is great. And I was actually familiar with you. You do I don't know if you still dip back into it, but it was the Sims Meet World, where it's anybody who's ever played The Sims knows the characters and the weird sort of. If you, in a real world scenario, those characters, which are supposed to be a simulator for life, would seem terrifying because they just make bizarre sounds and exclamations, and you mimic that in a real world scenario.
I had a lot of Sims growing up, so I wanted to play a little Sim, which is just hey.
Like gibberish. Like, I mean, you would be terrified. That's supposed to approximate conversation, but no, you'd report somebody like that. Are you a gamer?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I feel like I just play Animal Crossing and cooking games like Cooking Mama was a big one for me, and Endless Ocean, which was on the Wii.
Yeah.
I just like to walk around town and go swim.
That's all you need.
I don't like any battles or anything because I grew up with brothers too, and we would play N64 and GoldenEye. They would always. I could never be on I would always be like, "Can't we just be on a team and fight the bad guys together?" And they were like, "No, we're against you."
Yeah.
I could never find the gun in time, so I'd have to use the hand. And it's like I die every second. So competitive games make me cry. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's why I quit playing with my sons. They would just destroy me every single time and be relentless about it. Melissa, I see a music stand in the background. Are you a musician?
Yes. Well, I do have music out. Yes. So look, I'm a creative little person here. I like to write songs. I like to draw and do comedy. So I'm not the best at guitar, okay? I know the main chords.
You're pretty damn good. You have a couple of songs that are available. Like one of them is up on your YouTube channel. You just came out recently, and you're also you have a great visual flair. I know you're like a visual person as well. And are you designing the sets and all that stuff in your videos? As far as like you have.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? One is bathed in green, and you have all these. It's interesting sort of comic book looking takes.
Yeah, that music video, Dreaming You Up, was Raul Gonzo. He directed that. I'm actually not good with design in terms of house stuff or
okay.
I'm not. That's not a gift of mine. I buy a lot of junk and it doesn't make sense. It's too much.
All right.
Melissa, I remember about 20 years ago, Jimmy Fallon, when he joined SNL, did an Adam Sandler impression. And I always thought it was funny, but also kind of odd that he was doing an impression of somebody who was on SNL. Mm-hmm. And then recently, I've discovered you're really great at the Kristen Wiig impression. Is it odd to do somebody who on the show where you are currently working?
No, I mean, she loves it. And for me, it was really special because it did kind of remind me of when Fallon did Sandler for his audition. I did Kristen Wiig. So it's kind of like I don't know. It felt really good too. Kristen Wiig is just, I am really excited for today. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I might go for a stroll and get a coffee.
There is a new. You're what makes you great, and I adore your stuff because, and I've always been a fan of impressions and impressionists, and the ones that always are the best. And you're not just solely that. You've got to have material, and you do bring material, which is and that's not just your thing, but it used to be the old, you'd see him. I did stand up for a while, and you'd see people trying to be impressionists, and it would always be the same thing. Like, what would Bob Dylan be like at Burger King? It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So you place them in different scenarios. Of the collective that you do, and you do a killer Gwen Stefani and Jennifer Lopez and so many of the others, but am I correct in understanding that Owen Wilson's one of your favorites that you do?
Oh yeah, and he's a really old one. Yeah, I learned Owen when I watched Zoolander. That came out so long ago, but I was 17 and I was like, oh, I love Owen. And I would share that impression at open mics in LA, and people in the crowd didn't know who he was yet. That's how long I go back to Owen for me. But yeah, that one is, sometimes I get tired of it, but the crowd loves it. And every time I do it, it always convinces me like, oh yeah, it's a really warm impression. It feels good. It just, it's so joyful. Just, yeah. All right. Let's meditate together. Yeah. It's always going to be a good.
It will, yeah.
And I always share it. I know that it feels good. So.
Melissa, yeah. I've always been a fan for as long as I can remember of Saturday Night Live. I watch it every single weekend, and if I don't catch it, I have it on DVR, so I'll at least watch it on Sunday. My 15-year-old daughter is now totally into it as well, and I've always been impressed with how quickly you guys are able to turn around and put a show on, week after week after week. And I just wanted to ask about how you're able to not only do that, but then also work on stand-up comedy and put together, you're going to be performing a Punchline next week. Yeah. Like, how are you able to do both at the same time?
Well, I don't do both at the same time. During the work week of SNL, my brain is so wrapped up there that it's a different brain with stand-up. So I don't even attempt to do shows outside of SNL in the work week. But
you're still writing your act, though, right?
But, so stand-up I've been doing a long time, and I've had this hour that I've worked on, and so I'm going to be just doing a lot of old stuff, but then there's a lot of new from this past year that I'm going to be working on as well. So, I've just been, brushing off the, what is it?
Cobwebs?
I don't know.
Well,
I've been doing now shows now that I'm on breaks. So usually on the breaks from SNL, I always go do stand-up. So...
I think it's been, we've had a number of people through, and in Casey's right. I mean, just the adoration and the legendary status of SNL. But anyone who's gone through it, describes it as nothing. There's nothing that correlates to that in any other form of comedy. It's really in the trenches. I guess like if you're an actor and you're doing soap operas every day, when it used to be that it's like a grind like no other. But you come in with material, but it burns it up so quickly. So, and the hours are insane. I forget who I was talking, who we had in there, but they described seeing, the writers are just basically sleeping there, all the time. Did it, even though you were aware of that, I know you had auditioned once for SNL and then came back years later. I think that 2009 was the first time you auditioned and then returned later to do it.
Yeah.
You were aware of it, but when you finally got the realization, was it what you had anticipated or far more?
I don't think I knew the hours that much. And until it hit me, I was like, oh, this is every night is a different sleep.
Yeah.
And then, but thankfully, you know what? I got real good at naps. So I take a lot of naps.
Where are there prime places to sleep? I mean, obviously now that you're in a given year, a non-pandemic year, is there a prime place that you sleep? Do you sleep in an office? Do they have sleeping quarters? Do they have cots?
Most of the cast, we go home. But when it comes to when we were there Tuesday nights writing, a lot of the writers just plowed through and wrote till the next day. It's like,
wow.
I can't function. But I never slept there.
Yeah, it would seem to be too debilitating. So, but I mean, everything starts. But now you're on break. Obviously, you're coming here. You also do a lot of voiceover work. You work with Seth MacFarlane, his right Family Guy, and
I did a couple. I never met him though.
You never met him?
I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I've done a lot of cartoons for Cartoon Network, Adventure Time, that was a big one.
I love that show.
OKKO, and I did a couple lines in Toy Story 4.
That's awesome.
That was like so special. I love Pixar.
Yeah. You also did you work with Bill Burr, F is for Family?
Oh yeah, I did. I did that show too. Yeah.
Let me ask you about doing the Pixar voiceover, because we as commoners have this envision that there's a big Pixar complex that everybody goes to, and you're all surrounded about all this, or do you just go to some studio and they have people that are coaching you or directing you?
Yeah, no. Well, when I recorded those lines, I was here in New York for the show, so I went to a local voiceover recording studio, and then they just zoomed videoed in and gave. But it was fun.
It's got to be. I mean, you're a part of that whole universe.
So cool.
It is cool. Yeah. Well, we're very excited that you're coming to town. Definitely want to check you out. And again, you're a Swiss Army knife of capability, and everyone. I don't think have you been here? When was the last time you were in Philadelphia performing?
I have been to Philly Punchline. It's been a few years, but I love it there. It's so much fun. So I'm really excited to go back.
Well, It's awesome.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and tickets are available at punchlinephilly.com, so get them now.
See you there, guys.
Great to check in. Thank you, Melissa. Great to meet you. Take care. All right, let's hear it from Melissa. Via Senor. And the shows are, let's see, there's one show on Thursday. It's 8 o'clock. Friday, there's a 7:15 and 9:30. And Saturday, same thing, 2 shows that night.
Nice.
So punchlinephilly.com. There you go. All right, and we haven't even done the Bizarre File
We
yet.
have not.
We got to do that now.
Bizarre.
WMMR. Other leg.
Don't write the other leg.
Somebody accidentally wiped off
the leg.
Just the leg.
Damn it! Just put the mark on the leg.
All right, and that's what we have in the bizarre file for you. Let's take a break. Come back in a second. We'll see how you did as far as remembering what's happened on the show today.